Now, with me speaking up directly, I could actually tell you, yes, they are. They're liars, criminal storytellers. What do they lie about? They lie about everything. Who do they lie to? They lie to everyone. Do social services neglect children? Yes, they do. Do social services mistreat children? Yes, they do. Are social services are social services doing the crime and our children, our babies are doing the time? Yes, they are. Are victims being victimized? So I want to make it clear. If a victim of child sexual, now these are fact findings, by the way, brothers and sisters and members of the public, that anybody who, let's say child sexual abuse happens, they then get involved with these people here. These people here, social services will victimize them and also cover up the rape that was taking place on that members of the public, which leaves you to one situation where the person who's been doing the raping to begin with is actually out amongst us in the public who are going to continue to do what they're doing because nobody wants to investigate. Why? Because these are the orchestrators of creating demand. They need victims to stay in business. So if we go a little bit further, do social services control our judges and police with lies and story? Yes. And the last one at the bottom, it says, are there any good social workers out there? And the answer is yes, there are. I've met hundreds of great social workers throughout the country. Unfortunately, what usually happens with good social workers, they get sacked, removed, or sent on the sick. This is a major issue and problem that we're actually having there. Okay? And I'm just going to quickly, if anybody does want to get into the boxes and ask questions, if you just start requesting and bear with us, I will be getting these into the boxes. I've got no issues and problems with this. Anybody wants to see some evidence relating to what I'm talking about, that's not a problem as well. Okay? Now, with it being on public media, it's all to do with safeguarding and child protection. I'm limited what I can say or show on public media. And if we go to the middle here, I'll give you a live example just there about what do I mean exposing paedophile rings, corruption within the authorities and grooming gangs and a lot more. They're not separate issues, it's actually the same issue because like I've just mentioned, social services cover up rapes for these to continue to do what they're doing. So whether it's intentional or not intentional, it's part of the parcel of the liars, criminals and the child abuse scandal in the history of the United Kingdom. This is fact findings, not crap findings. So I wanted to keep that very, very simple. If a professional lover wants to reach out, that wants to ask and wants some clarity or see some evidence of them changing medical or documentation to cover up the child sexual abuse, and this is just one thing, for example, but it's a big problem. Okay, we have physical, emotional, psychological, mental abuse taking place on our children. These know about it, but shh. And the reason why they're doing this shush business is because they're also there allowing to bully, intimidate, threaten, commit perjury, manufacture documents, manufacture concerns and manufacture crimes against vulnerable children. So you know when they say it's all about the child's voice, well, what do you mean? You muzzle a child to begin with. You commit perjury on children. You allow physical, emotional, all these crimes here you've been allowing. And I have mentioned once before, for example, Bradford district area, there's a family there. I've been closely watching this case for quite a bit of time now. 5 children. The eldest one at the time was 15. The youngest one was 4. 3 of them out of there, 1 twice SA in issue involvement and problem with that child. A female. Nobody's done nothing with her. 9-year-old has had his arm or bones broken in 2 places while in the foster care placement. They said it was an accident. 4-year-old, same issue. Bones breaking in the foster care homes. And this is the state of affairs. Now, you've got to understand this. If a child had any issues of their own at home, what would happen? The social services would do them for neglect, start doing prosecutions and put them into jail. Yet the foster carers are abusing our children and nobody gives a damn. But it's told as it's an accident. So it's an accident when they abuse children, but when our children trip over in the school playground, for example, graze their knees, that's called abuse because they never seen it and they'll blame it on the parents. Okay, this is a big problem. Now, public better wake up because this has been going on far too long. Every single day, every crime that I've just spoke about is happening. Every single day, I dare say tens of thousands of reports that are manufactured against members of the public to steal your babies. Okay, this is a child abuse scandal, and this is also known as child trafficking. Now, you know, there's a film called Sound of Freedom. Maybe people need to go and watch that. And I think a lot of people have been watching Hollywood and Bollywood way too much. You better come to real world. These things are actually happening in real life. Okay, I want to make it very clear on that. Yeah, you're right. The world is run by criminals, but you got to understand the power is actually in the public. We, the power, or the public coming together, could change everything. One of the biggest plans of these people is, everybody knows about it, it's divide and conquer. And now they've got an issue. They know people are waking up. They know the message is getting passed on door to door, throughout town to town, and country to country, and the whole world is coming together. And when we all come together, it's game over, you elites, you child abusing traffickers. And then it'll be your nutsack that'll be getting a good beating on. Then we'll deal with it. Sorry about that, Ray. I said Leo. You know what I mean? Look, at the end of the day, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Somebody messing about with a kid like that, you better watch out. The first thing you're going to get is your teeth kicked out. And then you'll be giving the police. Where does it say? You know, one of the biggest nonsense is our police department. They know about all this scandal, but they haven't been doing anything about it. And I've actually got evidence now where the police are actually saying that they can't get involved. Their hands are tied. So the question is, who the hell are they working for? So on that note, let me tell you who they're working for. The police is not owned by England. It's a private corporate company owned by foreign internationals. And it leads all the way back to America, and then eventually it comes from there and it goes somewhere else. And the place it goes to is the one that's been getting massacred and genocide for over 70 odd years. Who's your social services? Same thing. It's not even owned by UK. It's a private corporate company owned by foreign internationals. Same procedure goes all the way back down to wherever. But you got to understand, the police that we have today is not the police that we had 10, 20, 30 years ago. People used to be the ones that used to protect and serve, that you were innocent until proven guilty. Now all these corporate companies, shall we say, are operating illegally, fraudulently in their mentality. It's like UK is their playground, meaning they could do what they want. We need to let them know, no, you can't. If you even try it, the whole world is now coming for the lot of years. Never mind you child abusers thinking that you could go around abusing kids for a living, and that's okay. It's not going to be okay. Z, you're not crazy at all. What usually happens is a lot of people can't understand it, and this is one of the reasons we need to start bringing it back to layman language. And this is the reason why I've done this, because this, stage by stage, every single point I could explain in like 1, 2, or A, B, C. Don't need to go way too much, because a lot of people just can't understand it. This is the main thing. People actually think like that. I better stop touching the wrong buttons here. I'm actually just going to slowly get some people in the boxes. Anybody getting in the boxes, please do me a favor. I will repeat it. I'll repeat it later on again. In the comments, feel free to ask questions, but please be respectful and be kind. You know what I mean? You could ask questions. It's not a problem. Be transparent. That's not an issue. But if anybody is caught being rude, disrespectful, fortunately, the rule is you'll just get muted and blocked, okay? I'd rather not do that. I'd rather have a rational conversation. I'm only doing my part in exposing this problem and issue and providing you evidence so you could obviously protect yourself in all areas. This also goes the same thing if anybody comes in the boxes. No criticizing, no condemning, no slandering, slating, nothing like that. Simply because we've got members of the public who are vulnerable in self, or people who are reaching out, or it could be actually professional. You know, I want everybody to get the same courtesy and respect. Okay, so just noting that. So anybody who's, I'm going to get people in the boxes now. If you do get in the boxes, please mute yourself. I will go through one by one. I did about 5 requests, and suddenly after me saying that, I've only got 1 request. So, you know, if people did... Mommy, if you just mute yourself 1 second, my love.
Yeah.
Just in case.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I want to keep it very, very simple with the respect and all that, because it's very, very important. This is not the kind of live that we rant and rave and swear and shout. And if you're looking for a live like that, maybe you need to go skip this one and go to another one. This is where we're also exposing, as well as we're trying to find solutions, because this is a problem that's happening and it's a target on women and children. And men are the ones that are mainly committing suicide over this carry-on. But we've got to stop our women and children going through these issues and protect them as much as we can. And so I hope that helps people to understand where they are with things. If I could just go to Mummy there first. Mummy, can you just unmute yourself, please?
Yeah, I just wanted to comment quickly. I got a message today about someone giving you their number, something along the lines that they've been admitted into a mental health ward and they won't let her go, or them, I don't know if it's a man or a woman, but to basically tell you that and to send their number to you. I don't know what it was about.
I don't know what that's about neither, because I'm the first one to tell people, whatever you do, try not to talk in public media. If you're in the firing line, do not talk about your cases, do not talk about your children, because these people will use it against you as a weapon.
Yeah, because they messaged me about, obviously, remember the last live I was talking about heavy metal detox, remember? So they messaged me about it, and I gave them whatever, and then randomly they messaged me saying that they're in a psych ward and to pass their number on to you. So I don't know if you're comfortable with that, because I'm a bit lost. Do you know what I mean, if that makes sense?
They've got a TikTok name, have they?
Yeah, they do.
Do you want to tell me? Because you always keep their personal details off of you. But what is the TikTok name?
I forget, but I can... Let me leave and come back. I can screenshot and I can just get it quickly if that's all right.
Yeah, do that. Okay. That's no problem. Thank you very much, anyway. Yeah, so this is very, very important. Whatever you do, do not talk about your personal affairs. Because in public media, because they are using members of the public to stay silent. If you look at it throughout the country, especially over the last 4 years, I've had more women campaigning, fighting the fight than men. Firstly, that's for me, it's a disgrace. I need the fathers or men, the brothers, to get up off your rear, put it in gear, and start protecting our women and children. However, throughout the country, there are more gagging orders that are given to silent members of the public. This is very, very troubling, extremely troubling. It's something that we need to deal with regardless what happens. Hazel, you've tried to send a message, but it hasn't come to me. I don't know. I do have a lot of obviously issues. I know I had some... just a second, I'm getting messages right now. I actually had my phone, I don't know what happened, but last 7 days, messages came in one day. They just started popping in. It was quite unusual. But I'm expecting this anyway. At the moment, I've actually been on the the road for the last 7 days. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, but I'm going to keep moving forward because we need to move forward. Let's get to the bottom of this person. Hi, Mummy, you're back.
Yeah, the name is Theo Brown. I don't know who they are.
Right. Now, Theo Brown, I can't even remember chatting with him, to be perfectly honest. I don't know if they keep changing the TikTok names and details.
They basically said they're being held in a secure unit under the Mental Health Act, and for you to call that, it was just so random. I was so lost, and I was just like, I don't know anything about it. Do you know, I didn't respond to it because I didn't know how to respond to it, if that makes sense. But I just thought I'd let you know.
Well, you let me know, but what can I do? See, this is the thing. This is why you don't go into too much, because a lot of people, if they don't understand it, they'll think you're either a conspiracy theory or you're mental. So if you break it down like this, remember there's 100 ways to skin the cat. Break it down in a rational, it's like A, B, C, D. You don't start from X, Y, and Z, do you? Okay, so it's easy. But when they get arrested, you know what I mean, they'll go down that avenue. They just need to comply with them and then present them the evidence. If they present them the evidence, they'll let them out.
It was just so random because I've never met this person, never spoke to the person. The only thing I told them was about the heavy metal detox the last time, and then randomly today I got that message and I just was like...
Can I just say something, Rangi? That's Theo Brown, and he's threatened to have Rangi arrested. So that's all I want to say on that subject.
Okay.
All right, so it could be people who are part of the issue and problem, and when something goes wrong, they want to just target somebody else. It's a shame this happens, but I've witnessed it myself. I mean, I'm talking about witnessing with children speaking up, but when things don't go right, they don't know where to. They'll just turn on each other, and it's a shocking worry. Actually, absolutely shocking.
Yeah, because you don't know whether to take it seriously if that person's messing about. Do you know what I mean, kind of thing? But
no, 100%. So I mean, I was actually speaking offline the other day, but I'll give you an example. It was 2 years ago. I actually had somebody reached out, a boy and a girl. And, you know, I tried to take it seriously, even though you must understand, I'm not a solicitor, not a lawyer, I'm not a barrister. I can just advise and guide and try to pull in the right people to get some right support for you. And over the journey of over 6 months, we found that the girl was maybe under pressure, but covering up the feelings of the man.
Oh, wow.
And then when I found out that, because my focus is always on the children. I mean, you could have a bad husband or a wife or the man or the woman, you know what I mean? My focus is on the children, and I try to get them with the right parents. It doesn't matter for me, as long as they're at home, because they're more safe at home with the parents, one or the other. So when I did find out that the father was a wrong one, I supported the mother. Wow. And when I supported the mother, I made sure the mother kept the child, and she still has, even till today.
Oh, wow.
So sometimes you don't know, you see, anything could happen, because I don't personally know him. So it takes time over the space of maybe 6 months, a year. And this is why assessments are really important to do. Not the way social workers do, because they don't even meet you and make documents. They actually manufacture documents for a living. This is the problem.
Yeah.
No, but you will find this kind of situation within the public, and it is horrible because, I mean, I always tell people, be honest with what you've gone through, including whether you're going to solicitors or independently, or somebody maybe you're passed them to. Because if you lie, if it's in the documents, we can't help you. If you've lied, let's say if you tell us that you have had some anger management issues, we'll tell you where to go to get the right support so you could heal yourself through that. So it'll help you in the courts to then, they can't use that against you, and then you get your kids. But people disguise these things and cover these things up, and that's not going to help anybody. And especially, absolutely, currently the worst thing is, social services will make any crap on you. And particularly fathers, I actually give this narrative quite a lot. So if you're a white Caucasian father, what will happen is you're prone to domestic violence and you're an alcoholic. Okay. They'll put that in extra, and domestic violence. So if you're African descendant, you're prone to domestic violence and you're a drug dealer, they'll put anything on it. And if you're an Englishman with a tan like mine, you're prone to domestic violence and you're a terrorist.
Yeah.
You see, this is the sickness of these. Now, the reason why I kept saying domestic violence, and all of them, this is what's known as the DV gateway, which is international European funding, because when we left the EU, we lost all European funding. There was a loophole that if it's cases to do with DV, domestic violence, you'll get funding. So this is one of the reasons social workers, they want to frame anybody, husband or wife, of domestic violence. Majority of the time, they want to blame it on the man because it serves their purpose, because it's under the flag of safeguarding child protection or women protection, which they don't. They want to blame the men. They want to portray, because then they get that extra funding. Okay? And yet, there's no evidence of, let's say, terrorist or no drug dealing, or alcohol on any of the parents, because they just make the crap up for a living. We should have known this is coming up, because this same government have been controlled by the same sick people who are actually doing what they're doing, abusing our kids. It's our government who's actually allowed this to happen, which is in our parliament.
It's all a cycle. It's all a money-making cycle. That's what it is. Like, even, for example, for me, I did not know that. I remember one day, because I was obviously I told you I grew up in the system, innit? But I remember the one day that a lady, they asked for her to keep me extra there, and then she said how much, and I looked at her and I was just like, what do you mean how much? But now obviously I'm young and innocent. I don't know. I'm not gonna ask questions. You're a stranger to me. I'm not gonna speak to you about that. I'm not really comfortable to speak to you like that. And anyways. And it wasn't until I got older that's when I realised she was asking, like, how much are they going to pay her to keep me there longer? Do you know what I mean? And it's just crazy. It's just like they could use these funds and these resources to actually put families in need, but they'd rather make more money by taking a child out and, you know, putting them in foster care. Because I'll be so real with you, yeah? My parents, alhamdulillah, they're very great, my biological parents, do you know what I mean? But it's a case of where if they had that extra resource and extra help from the government, that would, not financially wise, but it just in general, like, yes, I probably would have ended up back home, do you know what I mean? But obviously, now looking at the bigger picture, even though my experience in care wasn't too bad, it's a thing of, when I look at the outside of things, it's like, wow, like, I was really... You know, you almost feel like a pawn to people. Do you know what I mean? You just feel like, I don't know, like an ornament in a fucking sofa. You feel like an ornament, I don't know, in a thrift shop, and there's a little price tag on you. Does that make sense?
Yep. No, 100%. Now look, the authorities, what they are doing and what their plans are, people really better wake up. We need to put a stop to this, and the only way to put a stop to this is people to wake up. So this is why I'm specifically doing what I'm doing. I know a lot of people are struggling out there, and, you know, going to the authorities for some help is a waste of time. They're corporate companies now. There's no help. It's like going to the Terminator and asking him to be sympathetic. It's a damn robot. It doesn't care. It doesn't have feelings, doesn't have no remorse. I mean, I've seen these people abuse children, allow abuse to take place, intimidate them, threaten them, and all they do is blame it on the parents and go laughing. So these are child abusers that really need investigating. They need their children taken away because they're in risk of emotional harm, not our children.
Yeah.
Does that make sense, Mom?
Yeah.
So this is how mad this problem is, and people need to wake up. You know, And this doesn't matter what color, creed, religion, what background. These people don't care. They're there to cause that mischief. They're there to destroy our homes. I mean, just in fathers alone, on an average, we lose well over 5,000 fathers that commit suicide a year. I mean, look, do you know what the shocking part was for me? There was a story. It's actually still on my Facebook, YouTube, actually, where this mother was told by social service they're going to steal a baby. She was pregnant. She was so distorted, so like, oh my gosh, I don't even know how I could explain what she may have been going through, but what it resulted in is while the child was still inside of her, she commits suicide.
Oh, wow.
And if that doesn't touch somebody, and you got to understand, that girl who was pregnant, that was somebody's daughter, somebody's sister, somebody's mother. They're not numbers. These are human beings. This is a human race. You know what I mean? And I feel for every single person of that. It breaks me to pieces. And these stories, again and again, I'm watching them, I'm seeing them, and I'm like, how many sticks of dynamite do I really need to bring to the public or put it between the brain cells to wake them up?
There's actually a documentary, actually, before I forget, something similar to the story that you told me. I forget what it's called, I'll get the name for you. But obviously, I know we're in the UK, but it's a mother who was in America, and there was something wrong with her daughter now, and they had gone to Mexico for like a ketamine treatment, and obviously because they couldn't do it in America, she had something wrong with her body now. So then obviously, social services have gotten involved now, and they basically said to the dad, if you don't, the child was taken to foster care for 3 months at the time, and they said to the dad, if you don't get away from her, as in the mother, because they were telling the mother she's crazy, even though the mother documented everything from top to bottom, what happened from the first appointment to the very end, she ended up committing suicide herself as well, because she was like, she'd rather save her child than have her child at home and have a child in care. They ended up suing the hospital or whatever. I think it was for like 200 million or something. But it's just so sad to hear. It's like these are real life cases where, you know, like social services cause such a scare in people to where suicide rates go up. But they won't talk about that. They'll just talk about suicide rates going up. They won't talk about the reasonings. Do you know what I mean?
But this is the thing, they're not going to want people to know the truth. I mean, look, there's an article actually on my TikTok page where they sold, now look at the words here I'm using, they sold 10,000 of our children. 10,000 of our children to a child trafficking ring. How much more do you want me to say? I mean, giving one child to a child trafficking ring is bad. 10,000? We should be fighting for one, but 10,000 are going missing and we still don't wake up. What's the matter? Why are we not waking up?
It's crazy. Oh yeah, by the way, I just looked it up there. The documentary on Netflix is called Take Care of Maya. It's on Netflix now if you ever want to take a look at it. And it's mad how because it's happening, even though it's an American-based story, it's happening everywhere. It's just so corrupt.
Rangi, you're on Google, you're a nonce.
Oh my gosh. Just mute him and block him. This is sorry about that, sister. This is like racially motivated. What these people, they don't want to save a child. They like they're part of the abusers. And what they do is they do what the government does, they deflect. They want to blame you. It's an awful shame, shambles, absolutely disgusting. You know what I mean? But forget that. Sorry, sister, go ahead.
But yeah, no, I was saying, if you ever want to check out the documentary, I'll put it in the comments. It's called Take Care of Maya. And it's very heartbreaking because it just goes to show what a lot of people are going through, even though it's American-based. And if anyone wants to check it out in the comments. And it's a heartbreaking documentary. It's one of those where, you know, you need your tissues and stuff. Do you know what I mean? But it just goes to show how corrupt people can be. Like the fact that, yes, we can all sit here and say we're all one human race. It's mad how another human could be so corrupt in another person's life.
But this is the thing, they've had us divided and conquering us for a long time, but they've actually won to a degree. But you've got to understand, I was on somebody else's live the other day, they've done this, so a lot of people say this is a racially motivated country. Yeah, there's a lot of racism in it, I agree with that, but I need people to understand now, I've traveled the country. 95% of all our English community or the white Caucasian are just like everybody else, loving, caring, respectful, the lot. Okay, it's that 5% who are being brainwashed, and it's the 5%. Their attitude is, well, we only care about our own, meaning their own home. They don't care about the rest of the English white community nation neither. Okay, and they're the kind of people that have been actually following, excuse me, the likes of Tommy Robinson. You see, and you could fall down that rabbit hole, and the thing is, they need to come out of that rabbit hole, because I don't care what color, creed, religion you are, and if you need help and support, I'm fully willing to support. And if you're any of the perpetrators on this list, well, I don't care what none of them titles mean anyway, because a wrong'un is a wrong'un. Simple. We don't care. See, we do find this regularly in a lot of the platforms. It is shameful, but that's just how they are. And the thing is, to be perfectly honest, the quicker we wake everybody up, the better.
Yeah.
And that's the only way. But look, do you know what the shameful thing is? Somebody brought it up to me, I think it was about 6 months ago. They started bringing this idea that this is a Christian nation, it's a Christian nation. Now, I agree, was a Christian nation. So I said to him, I said, look, you're right, it's a Christian nation, but what's so Christian about it today? Anything that's supposed to be wrong in the Bible, you're allowing it to happen. Now, for me, as a Muslim, I am fighting for that Christian nation, because when my father came in the 50s, we came because it was Christian nation. Full respect. And it's our job to fight for that religion, because as you know, as a Muslim, you can't be a Muslim if you don't believe in Jesus, peace be upon him, in his miraculous birth, in his second coming. So I'm urging everybody, wake up. Now, me as a Muslim, I'm fighting for my Christian nation. I hope the Christians take that same mentality and come together. And that has nothing to do with colour. Sorry, sister, I'm just saying, that has got nothing to do with colour.
No, literally. Even like that, like, we all, you know, even every non-Christian is basically fighting for the Christian nations, you know what I mean? As well as in Islam, as we both know, the three Abrahamic religions, if you follow them, you have a chance to go to heaven. So it's nothing got to do with religion or race. And I feel like people get that mixed up. Like, we're just like, no, like, as a Muslim myself, I have no problem if you're Christian. My foster mom was a Christian. I have no problem. I've been to the church. I've been to the mosque. Do you know what I mean? I respect both religions at the end of the day. I believe in Islam, which is my one true religion. And that's how it is. But sadly enough, not everyone can live like that, you know? I have that mentality.
No, look, somebody said to me, he goes, if you get your kids and move out, would you move out? Well, one thing is, yeah, I'd move out and keep my children in safety. So my advice is going to be the same. If anybody's got any children, for your safety, for them children's safety, go somewhere else. Seek asylum somewhere else. We, as a Western nation right now, are seeking asylum throughout the whole world. And also there's a lot of people from England that have actually gone to Russia for asylum. Have a think about that. And they're supposed to be the enemy, they say, because their media has been making us feel that all these are the enemies. So when they rob and rape and steal our babies, we can't flee because we'll be thinking they're the enemies. They're not the enemies. Our own country is the enemy because it's been illegally doing all these conducts. And that doesn't mean it can't be fixed. It can be fixed. And the only way it's going to be fixed, because I said the very same thing to the person last time, is we need to come together. I may take my children out of here, but I'll still stay here because at the end of the day, that's my obligation. I'm an Englishman, you see, with a tan.
But listen, I'm gonna have to drop because I have to put this one to bed, my little one to bed. But hopefully, if she's sleeping and if you're still online, then I'll come back up, inshallah.
No, that's all right. That's fine. I'll speak to you soon, sister.
All right, family, bye.
Okay, bye. Bye. How you doing, Darren? Can you hear me?
Evening, mate. I'm very well. Yourself?
Yeah, good. Why have I still got you over there? I'm just getting enough of these on here. Yeah, Darren, just give me 1 second because I'll get the question up because I'm hearing some fat alarm bells here.
Yeah, I can hear it in the background.
Can you hear it?
Yeah, I can.
I hope it's not a setup to get me somewhere else.
Yeah.
The next person, I have got them in there, but they're not. Yeah, Berlin, that's in the building I'm in, but I'm not going out. I can't smell no smoke.
Right. Stay where you are, mate.
Yeah, I don't pay attention to that. And if I wanted to go, I'll take the camera. You'll see me. I'll just jump out the window.
Yeah.
This person, I am trying to get this person in, and it's just dropped. I don't know what's happened there. Yeah, so Darren, obviously there's a lot happening. There's a lot actually that I could be telling you about. I'll be telling you out of here.
Okay, mate.
And this man here, I'm sure I've just sent him an invite. Let's see if I get him in. He was in the other day. How you doing, James?
How are you doing?
How you doing, James?
You okay, young man?
Sorry?
I said, how you doing, young man?
I'm doing all right. Not so much of the young. And how are you?
What? How am I, young man, or just how am I?
Well, how are you, young man? Yeah?
I'm just plodding on, keep moving forward. Pauline, do us a favour, get yourself in the box, because what I am going to do, I'm just going to go find out what is actually happening. Because I've got this alarm.
Evening, Darren. Good to see you, boys.
And you, mate. I've got you covered for 5 minutes, mate, if you want to go.
Right, what I'm going to do is, you've got a couple of mods there. They're going to look after you all anyway. I'm just going to find out what's happened because that's unusual. And I am moving at the moment, place to place. I can't tell you any more than that. That's just purely for my own safety. Yeah, no, I'm taking my phone. I'm going to leave that on so everybody else can still continue. Darren, do you want to just have a little chat and any questions that come into the boxes or into the thingies? If anybody wants to ask, feel free to put any questions in there because they will pick it up. They will answer that for you. But I'm only going to be a few minutes because I'm just going to find out what's actually happening because that's a little bit unusual. I will come back. Hopefully he's still in one piece.
Right. 5 minutes, I'll still got it now. Anybody out there that's got any questions at all that I can help with or Leo can help with?
Yeah, what might be a good idea, Darren, if you could read, maybe because there is new people coming on all the time, tell them a little bit what's it all about.
No worries. Okay, for anybody new out there, what LCS is, liars, criminals, storytellers. So basically, we are here to expose these people for being liars, criminals and storytellers.
Darren, your mic's a bit low.
Yeah, I know, mate. It's
There you go, that's it.
Is that better?
Yeah, that's loads better, mate.
Give me a second. Hold on. I'm being harassed. Hold on. I've got both the dogs on the bed. Hold on. Right, behave yourselves. Right. Hold on. That's better. Right, get off. Sorry about that, people. Right, can you hear me now? Is that better?
Yeah, that's brilliant, mate.
Right, okay. Like I was saying, for anybody out there that doesn't know, we are here to expose the liars, the criminals and the storytellers in social services. We're not saying there isn't good social workers out there, because we know there is. There's plenty of good people out there, but we need all these people like yourselves to come together to help each other. As people know on here, I'm helping a few people along with their battles in the family courts and everything else like that. Just to give you a bit of my background, I've been in the family courts for 23 years, so I know their tactics. It's a case of being brave, being strong, and not taking any crap from them. And the man's back, so...
No, I'm not back. It is fire on. I'm going to leave this running. I'm just going out.
No worries, mate. Okay. I got you.
So I'll see you shortly.
Thank you, Emma.
No worries.
And if there's anybody out there that actually is going through the criminal courts, as I'll call them, because that's what they are, they're criminal courts, or in other words, the family courts out there. Like I was saying, as people know, I'm helping people. You know, I've sort of, in the process of helping 8 different people at the moment. I helped an amazing young lady yesterday. I won't say her name, but her and her friend actually liberated their mother, or her friend's mother, from somewhere that was controlled by social services, where she was basically freed by this young lady and her friend.
One second.
Yeah, crack on.
If longer than 10 minutes, the live will cut out, but as soon as he's back, we will come back.
No worries.
Yep, no problem.
So, guys, what do we reckon to some of the news today? Has anybody seen what's happening?
No, unfortunately, I don't watch the news.
No, I'm on about our news on here.
Has anybody seen Darren?
Has anybody seen like what's happening in Congress over there at the moment?
No.
No? Right, well, if anybody wants to go through my reposts, there's some information on there about what's happening in the Congress and everything else like that, about the 500,000 children that they're now going to try and find in these containers and give them back to their parents over in America today. So I'm hoping that what Trump said the other day, he's going to come through on it, along with all the what's going on in the Senate and everything else like that. And I'd like to thank a young lady on here, Miss Loyal. She shared that information with me today. So thanks, Em.
It's something that definitely needs looking into, but unfortunately, it's the US government that are trafficking most of the children in the world anyway.
Well, yeah, we know that now, mate. But, you know, I'm hoping from seeing what I've seen today that this is going to stop. And it needs to stop over here.
For sure.
Right. I mean, is there anybody in the comments or anything else like that wants to come on, or like feels that they need to find something out about what's happening in the family courts with themselves? Any advice I can give or anything else like that? Just crack the question in the comments and I'll see what I can do.
There's obviously people tuning in to probably hear Gary tonight, but unfortunately he's in a non-signal area tonight, so he's going to be unable to join.
Yeah,
just here to let everyone know.
I tried to get hold of him today, but didn't get anywhere.
Yeah, he's right tucked.
Yeah, well, I don't blame him. I must admit. I think I had a bit of an attack on myself today. I don't know who or how, but...
Oh, I've had death threats this week and all sorts. You wouldn't believe it, mate.
Yeah, but literally this morning I woke up. My girlfriend had to wake me up this morning. Like I was blue. I could barely breathe.
Doesn't sound good.
No, I mean, I've got asthma, but I normally have maybe 1 or 2 nebulizers a week. I've had 5 today.
Jeez.
So it's like, and I'll be honest with you, I've got tinnitus from hell today, and I've never really get it.
Yeah. Well, the EMF readings on the mobile phones and stuff show us what's going on, Darren, you know.
You say that, mate. I've literally just ordered like £1 worth of taurine, so I'm hoping that will turn up. That will turn up tomorrow. I'm going to shove it absolutely everywhere. So, I mean, I've literally, like, about 3 days ago, I had a TV, my soundbar, my Wi-Fi, phone charger one side of my bed, and a phone charger the other side of my bed, for them all to be now downstairs, redundant,
Yeah.
in my living room. You know what I mean? It's like, I didn't realise how much damage I was doing to myself with these things coming around me now.
No, I can almost feel it when TikTok lives are on as well, you know.
Oh, that's horrible. Did you get it right in the front of the centre of your head?
Yeah, mate, yeah.
Yeah, it's horrible. Yeah, I must admit, I get a reading. I get a red hand after I've been holding mine. After sort of half an hour, it's horrible.
Yeah, well, Rangi's had 3 phones explode now, so it tells you what sort of power they're putting through them.
Oh, definitely. They're making assumptions that.
Yeah, feel free. But has the user asked a question or anything? If this user 530.
No, they haven't answered the question yet at all.
If they want to come on and ask.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if they're on the box, if they haven't asked a question, if they don't have a question, I could just drop them and then they could just come back on and ask a question. It's not an issue. That's not an issue. So if that's the case, I'm just going to drop that user. And then if you want to ask a question, feel free to just request again and I'll bring you back in. That's not an issue. And that person, I've just brought that EM or MC, and they've just been dropped as well. I don't know what's happening here. But either way, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, this is all about exposing the largest child abuse scandal orchestrated by your local authorities, who are not your government, they are private corporate companies. So social services is not your government. Do not be deluded in that. They're a private corporate company just doing business as usual. They don't really care about anything else. It's very, very shocking. And I am going to say, hopefully, that if anybody's got a question, ask. And whatever you do, don't be rude or disrespectful. I'd rather people really stick and just ask as many as you want. It saves me dropping it, or somebody else will drop it anyway. There's no need for that, because at the end of the day we need to focus on our children. That's where the problem is. Right now we've got children who are missing, stolen, mistreated, and we need to find out where these children are. That's what we need to do. Suzanne, can you hear me?
Hi, yes, can you hear me?
Yeah, good day, loud and clear. Did you have a question or a comment?
Yeah, well, it's a comment and a question. I was just thinking what's gone on with the Catholic, not only the Catholic Church, but the Church of England, and the horrific, them keeping the abuse of over 100 children in South Africa, and the Archbishop of Canterbury having to resign, having to be pushed to resign because he knew about it for over 11, 13 years. He didn't bring anyone to justice, and so the fellow went on to abuse over 100 other children. And then on daytime television, they're calling them adults. Do you think that we are ever going to, private companies are going to be able to do this? Because if there's institutions like the Catholic Church who are in, close proximity to the royal family and King Charles, then this is always going to be going on because we allow them to do it, and it just goes unnoticed, and it's not in the news every day. And it's, the stuff they talk about on daytime TV, if this was anything else, it would be like people would be horrified. And they've even said that the abuse was not just sexual, it was horrifically violent, physical, mental, you know, he knew about it, so who else knew about it? You know, and this is embedded in British culture. It is, you know, and it's been going on. And you can look at the royal family and the highest echelons of judges and how they let people get away with it. And we just still sitting here talking about it. And now we're talking about private companies, you know. So my question is, are we to blame? Because we just sit back and we do nothing. You know, we're still funding the BBC. Not, you know, I have never paid for a TV licence in the whole of my life because I wouldn't fund them because of what they stand for and what they are. But, you know, I think there's around about 40 odd million people who are still paying a subscription to them.
Yeah, no,
and we have to talk we have to talk and we have to show our disgust by totally disengaging with them.
100%. I think let's go to your question. Your question was, is it our fault?
Yeah.
For where we are? The answer is no and yes. So no, because if you didn't know about this, then you're not to blame. But when you come on something like a live like this, after that point, you are held accountable for it because now you know. Okay? Now, there's two things. The church is separate. These people have been running and controlling the whole situation for decades, allowing perpetrators to be within the church sector, and the purpose was to destroy Christianity. Okay? And you know, that doesn't, now see, for me as a defense, I mean, I'm always going to fight for the Christians. Why? Because there isn't a faith out there. Okay. However, you know, I don't go into the differences because I actually studied the similarities. When you look at the similarities, you're totally a different person. You think, oh my gosh, what are we arguing about? You know what I mean? We're actually all doing the right thing towards the right way. Why are we arguing? And the arguments are over silly little things. However, in this country, this was planned by these people to cause this division. So now look what's happening. They're trying to say now every Christian is a pedo. Every Catholic is a pedo. You see? And you see, with what the over the last few years or decade, it's been an attack on the Muslims. Every Muslims apparently is now, because that's what they want. They want us to feel scared. They want us to, oh no, if we go under that flag, people will call us something. Well, you need to stand proud. If you're a Christian, don't hold back. Hell with all these nonsense out there trying to make you feel low down, shameful. You're not low down, you're not shameful. Stand up for your grounds. I'll stand with you.
Me too.
Yeah, me, Rangi, I just want to say that all these people, including Welby, are connected to this international government fraud, you know? So there's a common denominator between all these people, and they will all be named, and they will all be shamed for their involvement in it, you know? We've all got to come together, and that's why we're in this mess, because we haven't stood together for long enough at all. We've all got to get behind it.
Absolutely, but you see, somebody saying they can't hear me. Everybody else can hear me, can you?
Yeah, I can hear you, Rangi. Okay,
you're right. So, you know, there is solutions out there. Now, one of the reasons why I'm going to defend the ones that if they didn't know, because they've been programmed. Remember this, I also fell for that nonsense that the police are there to protect and serve. The judges do right by seeing fact findings, not crap findings. Okay? It's very, very simple. We've been betrayed. We've been betrayed by people in a position of power that's got to their head and decided to rob, rape, steal, murder, allow anything to go on just so they can make money. Money talks, bullshit walks. But when you're awake, you're awake.
Yeah, but Ranji, the thing is, I've been awake for a long, long time. I have. My dad gave me the Ragged Trouser Philanthropist and Emile Zola to read when I was 15 years of age. I know what, and I think a lot of people on this live, they know, you know, about government and the corruption. What I'm saying is this paedophilia and the blatant pushing it in our faces when you look at Disney and Hollywood and everything that's going on, and because it says they have to tell us what they do, hidden in plain sight. What I'm saying is, I'm not saying we're to blame and we're, you know, what I'm saying is, what do we do as, you know, as a collective force? We can't just keep talking about it. We've got to start taking directive action. And that has to mean by disengaging with them completely. So not buying any of the products, not consuming as little as possible, hitting them where it hurts.
It's exactly what we've done, Suzanne.
Sorry?
It's exactly what we've done with the national and international strike that we're proposing that started on the 8th of November.
Yeah.
Withholding tax under a conditional agreement that when the demands are met, that the tax will be repaid, yeah?
Oh, right, okay, yeah. It's a little bit like the British Constitution. He actually, there was a man in Liverpool on the Wirral who said he wasn't going to pay his council tax because it was going to war crimes.
Correct.
And he actually, they did the court case in private. And he was sentenced in private, a little bit like Julian Assange, and that's where we're going, isn't it? If we don't stand up now. And
everyone's got to pull together. That's what it is.
Yeah, well, look, let me just add on. I know you've got these strikes going on. You've got to remember they are private corporate companies. They're not our government. They don't tell us what to do. The problem is that I keep finding is the fact that people still in their mind have been captured as if they've got to do whatever somebody tells them. What do you mean? The police are not the law. Social services are not the law. The judges aren't even the friggin' law because none of them follow the law.
Well, we've just had the biggest social experiment that's been to humankind in the last 200 or 300 years with COVID, haven't we? To see who would comply and who wouldn't comply. Yeah. And 70% of the population took Matt Hancock and fucking Boris Johnson as their leaders. And that just shows you everything you need to know about this country. You know, that just tells you everything you need to know, and that the situation is dire.
See, what it is, there's a lot of people who are awake, but they're looking for leaders, and you look in the wrong places. Yeah. And don't get me wrong, at one point I actually thought there was a lot of leaders, and we're looking for people in every town and city. It's not one specific person, because the sheep that are awake, they need to be led. Who's going to lead them? We've had some crazy-ass people who've got involved over the last 10 years, and they've been deliberately using their position in power into stray the flock again and again. This is the reason why I don't want to deviate from it, because everybody needs to come together. And that doesn't mean I'm the leader. That means I am somebody who is just a normal person who's coming together with anybody, not bothered with colour, creed, religion. That's what the mentality you've got to have. Not like Tommy Robinson, for example. I mean, to be honest, I'm very ashamed of that man. He could have, in his position, done right for his nation.
Mossad.
Yeah, I know. But you see, he could have if he cared, but he hasn't. But what he's done is he's got a whole load of people and
he's been paid off, mate.
He just played them all off. And the worst thing is, but that doesn't mean anything neither, again, for me, because what does that mean? It doesn't mean anything. He wasn't the mover, the one that's going to be putting people together. You need people who actually care about the nation. You need people who want to stop this kind of crap and don't care. Look, there's loads of ways of doing this. Firstly, you need to wake the public in, public completely. Then never mind just the taxes. We can stop everything. Remember that. You could literally stop everything. The fraud in the cost, the council tax, the misuse of all this power issue. You could stop it all. It's just you're not waking up. And do you know what the best way to wake you up? Somebody comes and abuses your little girl. What are you going to do? I'm showing you, that's why I say I'm just a dad. And look at me. I'm giving them a fucking fight of their life. Am I scared? Of course I'm not scared. Why would I be scared? Can you think about it? People raping children. You want me to be scared of them? Oh, wait, get a grip.
I'll get past me first, mate.
You know, you see what I'm saying, Darren?
Yeah, listen.
I mean, for me, I've actually even told the police that if I catch them, first thing I'll do is I'll kick their goddamn teeth in. Then I'll give you a ring. Where does it say that you got to ring the police in? You don't do that. I mean, if they act something like that, you deal with it. We're in a matter of state emergency. We're in war. You don't go to a military man when he's in the battlefield with a rifle. Hey, don't just shoot the person that's shooting at you. Ask him, have you got the right person? Get a grip. What kind of nonsense is this?
Yeah.
You understand? This is why the police are standing down everywhere I go. Why? Because they can't do the job. Because they're shit at it. Because, like I said, their hands are tied. So if their hands are tied, who runs the show? It's the public. If we follow the law, abide by the law, and act, we could do everything. We don't need these puppets. Do you think I need the judge that they supplied to do something? I don't need him neither. Right now, the judge is on a brink of disaster. And I'm going to prove this, and I can be proving this since last year, the year before, the last 10 years. But one thing is for sure, right now they're avoiding me like the plague. As soon as it goes into the next court arena, I'm going to show everybody, and I'll expose a lot of them in that one district. Then I'm going to go to the next one, then the next one, then the next one, then the next one. In every single town and city. And do you know what? So can you. You could do the same thing. I know I understand that you may be worried or scared. Well, I'm asking you, what are you scared of? People who are either liars, criminals, storytellers. Is this the state of affairs that we've come to? And I want to remind you, for the last 5 years, there's more women out there fighting this fight, the lionesses of this country. Yet, if you look in the social services scandal, it's 95%. Now, you know this answer yourself. 95% of women are the ones that are manufacturing documents, concerns, and crimes against the parents just to steal your babies. Under the flag of safeguarding children, child protection, women's rights. What kind of nonsense is this? You abuse women and children to say, oh, we're giving them women's rights, safeguard. Man, this is just talk. Words meaning nothing. It's like speaking in English, but actually it's not English, it's called gibberish.
Legally.
You say one thing and you do the complete another. It's horrible. And I don't need to take, people say to me, oh, where's the evidence? What do you mean, where's the evidence? You go to every single town and city throughout the country and they'll give you the evidence. They'll slap it across your face. It's happening to me, it's happening to me, it's happening to me. Grandmothers are suffering, mothers are suffering, daughters are suffering, and they're asking, where is this happening? Get a grip. But, you know, I understand some people are nervous, but you don't all have to be nervous. If I'm just trying to sort my odds and bobs out. I will do a tour and I'll come in every town and city. I'll do a lecture with fact findings and I'll expose every single one of them. Let them come forward. Look, this is a matter of public interest. This is a matter of public safety. Children are being raped, right? These covering it up and these still outside in the public, robbing and raping more. What is this? And this is purely to do with our government now because they want to be favoritism, trying to legalize pedophilia in the nation. No, it's not going to happen. You get our permission, you morons, you sick psychopaths. It's a shame, actually. It was November 2011 when the first time this topic came to me, and I had no interaction with anybody at this point with social services. And it was in the House of Parliament, they were trying to legalise sex at the age of 13-year-old. Think about this. In the house, just 1 second, Darren. In the House of Parliament, trying to legalise sex at the age of 13. And a lot of my friends of all backgrounds, walks of life, it's not going to happen, Rangi. It's not going to happen, Rangi. I said, you're missing the point. Which psychopath, paedophile thought process was in the House of Parliament to try to legalise it to begin with? Just think about what you said.
Harmon, won't it?
Say again?
Harriet Harman, what a wonderful lady.
Yeah. Oh, they like using women. It's like Margaret Thatcher. What she brought in and what she did. They just bring them in. Look at this last two. One of them handed over 10,000 children. Hang on, not handed over. Sold 10,000 children to a child trafficking ring. And another one that only lasted 30 days. Wonder what she signed off before she left. 2 pence worth. We need this trash out. We need to start running the government ourselves. We need justice. Otherwise, all you're going to have is victims being victimized again and again and again. They're trying to legalize pedophilia. Not on my watch.
Oh my.
I'll be kicking the nutsacks off me. Everywhere I go, I'll be making a mess. And that's the whole thing. He's supposed to be on me. Darren, sorry about that. What were you going to say, young man?
I'll be honest with you, it's gone straight out of my head now. Give me a second and I'll think about it. Hold on. Oh,
No, it's all right.
yeah, I know what I was going to say. Basically, somebody sent me today a video of what I can only describe as a very disturbed young lady on stage in front of a crowd trying to normalise paedophiles and their sick,
I saw that.
twisted minds. How can you normalise that? You can't.
Yeah, so what they did is, did you notice in that recording, they used 2 young females to portray and say that as a paedophile, it's not our fault. You just need to know how we may feel. Eh?
I don't care how they feel, mate.
Yeah, give them a good backhander as well. Dirty, filthy. I mean, look, think about what's going on here now. Think about it, and they don't want us to talk about it. Get a grip. Touch my kids, you're going to get more than a backslap.
Oh, mate, listen, like, when the person that sent me that, and I sat there and watched it, and I just thought, like, you must have been so psychologically programmed by these people to try and normalise this and how they think and feel about wanting to molest a young child is okay. No, you are psychologically and mentally deluded if you think that's acceptable.
I boiled my piss straight away, Darren.
Mate, I know, I was like...
Yeah.
I mean,
For
I actually threw my phone on the bed after watching it. I was like, so angry. I was like, so angry.
Anybody who wants to know what they're talking about, you'll probably find it on their profile. It's even on my profile. The video's there. Have a watch yourself. This is how sick the Western nation has become. But who runs it? See, we're going to be opening the can of doors and the can of worms on everything. Who owns it? Who's in the background? Where does it go? Where the root cause is? Because I don't care. Why? Because I love my nation. I love our children.
I'd actually love to find out who that young lady is. So if anybody can find out who she is, let's try and contact her.
Oh, I'd love a chat.
Try and get a statement from her saying, like, why she finds it acceptable for these people to be accepted.
100%, mate.
It's like I'd love to get her like sort of, what's the word I'm trying to think of, her formal understandability of how these people should be accepted.
Well, I think what we need to do is not only find out and send it to goddamn jail.
Yeah.
These people need to know that speaking such sickness, allowing this abuse, is abusing our children, abusing our nation. And these people are deliberately doing it. I'm to be honest, I'm very, very shocked how much we let these people get away with so far. I'm very, very shocked. Miss Loyalty, can I get you in, my lovely? If you just unmute yourself.
Yeah, hello.
Hello, my lovely.
Yeah, I'm good. You all okay?
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah, good, thank you.
Good,
Do
good.
you have a question or a comment?
No, just like if anyone wants to reach out to ask anything, obviously my inbox is open. I've got a backup account called Awareness, so a lot of my information is on that account. So yeah, just feel free to obviously repost it and just share it out as much as you can, because we just need everyone literally just to come together, because it's sick, absolutely sick what they're doing.
100%.
Obviously I've been with social services since I was 6 years of age, and obviously still got them to this day. They're literally trying to make me the bad one, that I do the abusing to my husband. Yeah, it's just sick. And they've broken my mum. Going back about 3 weeks ago, she tried killing herself. So yeah, it's just absolutely sick what they're doing.
No, I'm glad to thank you very much. I hope people understand what's happening. They need to wake up and support each other.
Yeah, no,
Because-
we really do.
Because the war is already upon us. It's already happening. Don't be asleep throughout the whole thing, because one thing is for guarantee: your home is next. Okay, and this is why people are speaking up now, to prevent that happening. And also, when people talk about child trafficking, well, that's the real thing, not Hollywood, Bollywood movies. This is the real thing, and the evidence is there, where the England, Great Britain, Parliament has been accepting that they've been selling our children to child trafficking rings. So they're telling you blatantly as well that we're stealing your children and we're selling them to child trafficking rings, and you're still asleep.
And then
What's holding you back?
and another sick thing that they've done is the school that my kids go to. As we all know, we put our hands on our children, we get social services involved. Well, on two different occasions, the same teacher put his hand on two of my children, and he's still working at the school, and nothing's been done about it, because they're sick like that. It's okay for them to do it, but it's not okay for their own parents to do it.
No, it's
Sick in the heads.
no, absolutely. You know, one of the biggest misconceptions and straying the flock of UK was done by Tommy Robinson. You see, one of the bits in there, he was saying two-tier policing, and what he got everybody to think that the two-tiering meant one for the minorities, or in this specific case, what he was targeting was the Islamic or the Pakistani community nation, okay, and one for the rest of the nation. No, the real two-tiering is this: they don't care what color, creed anybody is. The two-tiering that real lifetime fact-finding exists is one for these in the government, or hang on, these corporate companies, and one the rest of us are like sheep. All of us, they're not bothered with Muslims,
100%.
Christians, Catholics, Sikhs. They're not bothered. And this is one of the biggest things that Tommy was instigating again and again and again.
Vision.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. But that is the real two-tiering. So, when they turn around and say, oh, the boat people are coming in, it's two-tiering. Listen, there's more people leaving United Kingdom than refugees or asylum seekers coming in. What do you mean? We're overcrowded, over this, over that. No. And they're not bothered. They don't give a damn. And instead of, look, even I'll support on that line about the illegal immigrants, for example, the ones that are illegal. I'll support that. But you don't support that by attacking the freaking minorities, do you? Man, wake up. What kind of dumb people is this? It's like work with dumb and stupid. Have you seen that film, Dumb and Dumber?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, this is a third, must be the third part of it. Dumb and stupid.
Oh, 100%, mate.
I mean, how can you, it just doesn't make no sense. You know, anything that we're talking about is purely to do with common sense. God Almighty tells us in all our religious faiths, anything that makes common sense, seek no other sense. Yet today, we have a lot of common but no sense.
Oh, mate.
And I really pray to God Almighty to wake these people up.
Do you know, it makes me laugh. How we can all, right, you sit there yourself as a Muslim, myself as an atheist, and some Christians on here and stuff like that. And like, I sit here and I contemplate every night and saying to myself, right, Daz, I'm helping some people on here. I'm helping other people through other social medias and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And like I was saying earlier on, I had a young lady message me yesterday about one of her friends and the concerns that she got about her mother being in like this sort of social service run care home. And they sort of said to me, right, we're really scared about the safeguarding measures of like my mum and stuff like this. So I just said to her, go and get her. Well, we can't do that. I said, why not? I said, who are you? I said, well, I'm a daughter. So I said, well, what's the problem then? I said, you're removing your mother from a situation that you believe is endangering her. Go and get her, bring her home, and take her away from the danger. If you're done for that, I'll be the first person standing in the courtroom for you saying to the judge, you're taking the mickey. I just couldn't get my head around like the way she thought that she had no like right or authority or like any sort of thought process that she had the right to protect her mother. And I sort of had to drive it into her that she had every right to protect her mother because she was her daughter. And it also works the other way round. These are our kids that we need to protect from these people that claim they are protecting our children.
No, 100%. 100%. This is the thing, everything, you know, even when I speak to Gary on other topics, everything boils down to the same thing again and again. The root cause of our suffering and our problem is everything is going to affect our children and their future. They're actually not going to even have a future. It'll be modern day slavery. It'll be modern day slavery. That's what it'll be. Darren, just give me 1 sec. Let me just get this. Is it go through? Is it? Can you just unmute?
Hi. Is it Rangi or Ranji?
Rangi is fine.
Hiya, mate.
Do you have a question or a comment?
Yeah. Well, I heard you. Well, saying like two-tier, saying it as if it doesn't exist. Do you think it doesn't exist, two-tier policing?
No, I have just explained that absolutely two-tiering exists. But the two-tiering that actually exists is the one that actually is one law for the corporate companies with the police, social services, judges, and in the position of power, and one for the rest of us in the public.
See, I don't think so. I think there's a bit of a racist, racial type of two-tier policing from my perspective. Let's take, for example, the Manchester airport when he broke that policewoman's jaw, and then he stamped on his head, which is bad enough. But again, they haven't been charged for that. And if that happened, if that was a British person in an airport doing that to armed officers, they'd get thrown straight in prison.
Absolutely.
Just 1 second.
Create the division. That is just to create the division between
No,
us.
that's all right, but I'm sure that case is still ongoing.
Yeah, it is still on. Yeah, it's.
Right. So if it's still ongoing, it's still ongoing. So let me give you facts now. Throughout the United Kingdom now, social services are manufacturing documents, manufacturing concerns, manufacturing crimes, committing perjury on our little babies and stealing our children for a living. Nobody's held accountable for. It's all evidence. That's two-tiering in a massive industrial level.
And
So this is what I'm talking about.
Rangi, I'll jump in on this one, mate. Right.
Yes.
You're saying there's no two-tier policing out there, right? Or you saying there is. Trust me, as a white South African man who classes himself as an Englishman, because I've been here since I was 7 years old, right? I have a British birth certificate, which I'm sort of not ashamed of, but I don't blame my parents or anything else like that. But I've also got a South African birth certificate, and I don't blame my parents for that either. But as a white Englishman, as I will now call myself, I have been subject to the two-tier policing on numerous occasions. Numerous occasions. Even to the point of I was put in prison last year for speaking my mind and defending myself in accusations that had been made against me, which were completely fabricated by the police and the court, which I now have the undeniable evidence of, which is now why they leave me alone.
Yeah, well, look, this is the thing. We can add on a little bit more. Now, look, if you look at the articles up and down the country, look at all these pedos and problems that are happening, who are in either BBC News, doctors who are just getting away with everything. They're getting only, what is it? I'm just going to put you on mute. They're just getting suspended sentences. You see, so with the Pacific that the gentleman brought in, and that was specifically brought in about supporting this divide and conquer level side of it, which I'm hoping he'll understand here. That was one example you gave, and just in that little conversation, I've just given you a few information. We could then also turn around and say, hang on, is it because they're a white Caucasian? Maybe, is that why they did it? Is that two-tiering? No, the reality is this: they don't give a shit about what colour we are, what creed we are, what religion we are, what backgrounds are. If we're part of the public and we're not part of the sick gang, okay, and in these corporates, we got a totally different law. Okay, that is two-tiered happening in Broadale. I hope that helps you, young man.
Yeah, I mean, there's just one more thing. What can we do as the public to change it? Because whatever we do, protesting, anything we do, it doesn't change a thing. Do you know what I mean?
Educate yourself, okay?
Yeah, Darren, 1 second, because he's very right. This is something that you're very right, young man. You're 100% right. Now, one of the things I am going to say, look, how are we going to change? I mean, this is where we should be having the dialogues. Okay, we already know all this is happening, and that's why blatantly I'm saying it on public media so the police could hear it. If I see somebody raping a child, I'm going to bust his nuts all over before I give you a call. Okay, I don't need to ring you up and say, hey, 999. Oh, hang on, remember how the system works? You pick it up, 99, doot, doot, doot. And then which service, please, all that nonsense, and God knows how many weeks or months it'll take them to come out. I know cases right now for child sexual abuse that's been a decade, they still haven't turned out. Okay,
Yeah,
so you can't rely on these people.
What can we do? There's only one
What
thing we can do in my eyes, and that's armed revolution, if you feel what I mean. Do you know what I mean?
No, look.
How about in, Rangi? We've got an 11-stage statement, a strategy to deal with this problem. It's available through Gary at The Truth Sets Us Free on Telegram, or you can contact me directly through my contact on here, and I'll give you the information. But we're calling for an
The thing is, questions get asked in Parliament, but the Prime Ministers just dance around the questions and don't even fucking answer them. Do you know what I mean?
Right, now, Neo Songpai, he's 100% right. I know exactly what he's saying, and he's bang on. The question is, what are we going to do properly?
We need to do
sake.
something. We need to do something.
Our children
physically.
are being stolen. Our children are being abused. Our children are being raped. And we got to negotiate with dumb and motherfucker stupid? What is this? That's not going to happen. Now, I'm going to go straight to what this brother said. Now, my brother, what I'm going to tell you is very, very simple. You think exactly the same as me, like most people in the country, regardless of our colour, creed, religion. We're frustrated, we're sick, and we need to protect our children. So one of the things I'm going to suggest is, firstly, number one, is we all stand together. Okay, number two, we could go along with one more time, just one more time, and letting the government know, sort your shit out, you assholes, or else. Not, oh, look, here's a petition. Are you going to do so? And we're not asking your permission. Messing about our children is dangerous. Anybody's child is dangerous. My neighbor's child is dangerous. I'm not bothered what colour, creed, religion. Because if it was a public member messing about with our kids, we would have knocked and kicked their nutsack right off their goddamn body.
Yep.
You think there's something special with you government bodies? We have a title. We don't give a shit. Our job is to protect the nation. And this isn't violence I'm bringing out. These are facts that I'm bringing out. What are you going to do when somebody rapes a child in front of you? They're trying to legalize this, bring this grooming into it. Everything that they're telling us about that is illegal, they're the ones that are doing it. But they've got the public to fight with each other. Go on, you and me sitting down.
Yeah, like I said, you couldn't have said that any better, mate. To be fair with you, and there's two ways. Either we do get violent because it's not working, protesting. It's not, is it? Look at Palestine, for example. That's not working. Yep. And the next thing we can do is maybe send a couple paedophiles to rape their kids. Do you know what I mean? That's what we could do. That's what we should do. And again, it's just fucking disgraceful. It's corrupt. It's disgusting. And I wish everyone thought like you, Rangi, mate. To be fair.
Well, I'm going to do two things. Number one, you mentioned about sending someone to them. Now, the worst thing is, these same people don't give a shit about their own kids.
Yeah, the kids have done nothing. That were way out of order, to be fair, but the kids done nothing wrong. But you get what I'm trying to say, though. Until it happens to them, they don't understand, and they live in the perfect little bubble. They don't have any fucking wrong. It's just frustrating. It's just totally frustrating. They live in a bubble. Nothing bad ever happens to them. They live in the best life, filling their pockets with money. They don't give a fuck about the public, and it's just disgusting.
Well, look, I mean, the solutions are there if everybody come together instead of being in that divide. Look, we are going to have that minority, and it is. I want to remind everybody, especially the ones that are thinking about racially motivated, they're only stupid-ass, dumb-ass frigging minority.
That's the whites and Muslims, both sides. Yeah, I agree.
Everybody, I mean, all groups, we have what's known as black sheeps in our communities. We accept. You know what I mean? Let's move on. How do we come together? How do we solve this? How we solve this, which is the most scariest part for them. If everybody now comes together, regardless of their background, their colour, creed, religion, title, it doesn't matter. We coming together is a big problem to them. And let me tell you something, we don't need to go into violence. We just need to tell them in one voice, behave yourselves. You morons work for us. You are our servants, not us being your servants. Think about what I've just said there. If you look at the past, who are the police? They're our servants. Yet now they're behaving like we're their servants. Who's the judge? He's our servant to do the right thing. Now he's behaving like he's God Almighty. When you give these people titles, gets to the silly little brain. And it's about time we stood up. And one of the other ways we're going to have to do is expose every single one of them, combat with every judge, everybody. I'm not bothered who they are. I really don't give a shit. Nowhere it says a police officer could go around raping and abusing kids. Nowhere it says that just because you're a social worker, we could come and steal your children. You keep your fingers off your babies. Darren?
Sorry, mate, I was coughing. Sorry.
Yeah, so thank you very much. I'm going to leave you now, but appreciate it, and I've learned a lot, to be fair, so thank you.
Just before you
No,
go,
thank you very much. But just remember, we're all together. I'm not bothered about backgrounds, colour, creeds, religion, because at the end of the day, that's what makes me an Englishman. That's what makes me a Muslim. That's what makes me a community member.
Correct, yeah, that's bang on, mate. Thank you very much. What did you want to say, Darren?
just before you go, young man, right, the man just to my left as I'm looking at the screen, the man above me and the young lady below me, we are all different religions. I am an atheist, right? I believe in a higher plane. I believe in a creator and everything else like that. I'm on a spiritual level of frequency and everything else like that. But I don't care if Rangi's a Muslim. I don't care if Neo's a Christian. I don't care if Miss Loyal's a Christian. It's about who these people are, okay? And it's sitting here as people uniting against what I can only describe as a Luciferian paedophile ring that believe they can control us. And what we need to do as people is expose everything and as much as we can to everybody. I know it's frustrating some days, trust me. Today was one of the most frustrating days I've ever had in my life. I pulled into a petrol station and all three of the members of staff had masks on. And it took everything I had to not get my phone out of my pocket and show them Dr. Michael Yeadon, telling the world that he's the ex-head of Pfizer, exposing their lie, and I just had to walk away. And that was, trust me, one of the most frustrating things ever to do today. And then blow me, as I walked past a woman today, she goes, "What the fucking hell you got those stupid face nappies on your face for? Are you deluded? Get them things off your face." And I just walked up to her and I started clapping. And I went, "Well done, love." And she went, "Oh, are you a fellow truther?" And I went, damn straight. I shook her hand. I spoke to her for about 5 minutes, talking about the world and how we could put it to rights. And I just thought, actually, there are awoken people out there, not these idiots that are sitting behind the desk at Sainsbury's Petrol with their face nappies on their face still, believing the British bullshitting company that are telling them all these fake news stories.
100%.
It's a case of what people need to do is just keep sharing the information. As frustrating as it is, share the information. What people got to realise, like Rangi and Gary and myself keep saying, it goes back to one thing. That's our kids. We've got to protect our children from these tyrants in charge. So just keep going out there, mate, spreading the truth. Yeah, it's frustrating some days, but just keep spreading. Share shit. Go up to people. Talk to them.
Like I said, it is a spiritual battle. I agree with you. There is an evil and a good. And yeah, like I said, feels like evil's winning at the minute. It does. Feels like we're on a losing battle, but yeah, I agree. Thank you very much, guys.
They're on the back foot, my brother. They're on the back foot. We've got the evidence to expose them.
No, well, I'm glad people want to ask questions. It's really important for everybody. We just got somebody new here. Is it Lovely? Is it?
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah,
Did you
listening to what you guys were talking about. I just about got the grasp of what you're obviously discussing. I 100% agree with everything you said. I feel the sentiment. We really need, obviously, to tackle this endemic. But you know, I think society is becoming too much reliant on the government. You know, we're becoming a bit too docile. I think, you know, society needs to take a bit more action, like become a bit more self-preservation. You know, we need to look at the parents as well of these victims, because, you know, sometimes obviously parents, you know, they try their best, but yet they still, the kids are taken advantage of. But there are some parents that totally neglect their kids. All they're interested in is partying, and you know, they leave the kids at home, and they go off,
No, you're right. Just on that.
if that was, if the parents, parents start, if when the social services or when it's found that the parents were neglectful, and it could have been avoided if the parents, gave more due care and attention to the kids, those parents should be named and shamed. And I think that would really cause, that would reduce a lot of, these cases occurring. There's a lot of wayward kids that, they don't have any peace at home. The parents are always fighting, or they're alcoholics, or they've got some problems. And that comes from all walks of, people from all walks of life, brown, white, every walk of life, black. They come from a dysfunctional family, and these predators take advantage of that. So we need to fix the family. We need to fix the homes again. Families.
That's part of Rockefeller's plan, unfortunately. If actually
taking up arms and armed rebellion, which it's going to be obviously inevitable one day. When people get fed up, but we need to take more accountability for our own actions. And
so just on that, just stay there. Just on that, let me help you to understand one of the things that maybe you don't know. With 100%, I totally agree with you, and everybody else will also agree with you. There are families that need intervention, need help and support. Yet none of those families get their children taken off them. But it's the loving, caring families, what they do is get involved, they manufacture documents, manufacture consent, manufacture crimes against the parents in order to take the children. Then when they do assessments and they ask a child, did the parent abuse you? Then they goad them, groom them, commit perjury on our children, our babies, in order to keep hold of our children illegally, criminally, because the more it's actually in their care, it's disturbing a child, it's taking them out the remit, they're destroying the religion concept. I've seen loads of religious people, their children have been taken up, and they've been saying to them, you don't need to follow Christianity, you don't need to follow all this, you can do what you want. And the age of 12, you don't tell our babies, it's all right, you can sleep around. This is the professionalism. This is done deliberately.
It's despicable what's going on now. They're pushing all this, promiscuity. Kids are just from a young age getting sexualized. It's absolutely horrible. What they're seeing on TV, and and parents, are partly to blame, but they're not also, because all kids have got phones now, and they're being exposed to all sorts of crude stuff that they shouldn't be seeing. So it's just a mess, and we can't always blame it on the government. We need to take accountability ourselves as parents.
Well, look. Let me just. I understand we're going to take responsibility. We'll come back to that responsibility in a second. But it is the government. Government have been entrapping the members of the public. So let me give you a live example. In the 60s, can you remember? They said a mother.
I'm an 80s baby, so you'd have to...
No, hang on. I'm giving you a live example. In the 60s, they were saying that all the women who were having children and they weren't married, that was illegal, and they were stealing their children. 100% this is what they did. Yep. In the 80s, coming into the 90s, did they not start to say that women now could go out there, you don't have to be married and have children? Yeah, they did. Now they're targeting the same women that they said go and do that. Oh, you're a vulnerable child now. You can't be responsible for your child. Now they're taking the children. So hang on, which one is right? We have a government that's inadequate in all areas and unfit for purpose, which they're deceivers, entrapment. It's like working with the devil himself. This is all the devil's work. Or you could do this. Then this is why a lot of parents, when they get interaction, they start working with social services. Everything they do right still is wrong. And if they do something, not do anything towards something to protect themselves, then they're still wrong. So how do you win? You can't win with a fraudulent, criminal government. And don't forget, this is not our government. These are private corporate companies owned by foreign internationals, empowered in the country, trying to enslave, rob, rape, steal as much as they can. The police are not there to prevent rapes. They're there to just sit aside for them to continue to get raped because it keeps them in business, and the police are there to keep us in check. Now, this to the police. Do your work. And the reason why I did that, you might feel upset about it. You must have heard about the Freemasons, about doing all these symbols, these signs. Man, get a grip of yourself. I'm not on a holy show where I could stay silent. Anybody raping anybody's child, when we find out and if we catch them in the act, they're getting a beating. Not, oh no, we'll hold. Listen, can you imagine this? I've been through these episodes. A paedophile, you get the information, you're going to get attacked. The police don't want to protect you no more, by the way. Get this right. Doesn't matter what town and city you are, they're not going to do anything. But if they're going to go and rape a child and then you catch them, right? Do you think they're going to comply with you if you say, hey, look, I want you to just stand there? They're not going to just stand there. They're going to try to flee as much as they can. And think about it, that's me telling you very straightforward. Can you imagine the father of the child catching them? So if you're men out there, and hang on, that's just not for your father, your mothers out there. I've seen these mothers, they're like lionesses, and I want you to remember who you are. Don't be scared. When a perpetrator does all this, you deal with them. Show them who you are. You know what I mean? Don't let them try to abuse your kids. If it was somebody off the street, what would you do? Every one of us will stand up against them. So what if they're going to attack another social worker? Where do you get that exemption from? Oh, I'm a social worker. I could commit perjury, manufacture, to steal your children and bully them, intimidate them, just like the Zionists, what they've been doing internationally. So don't be thinking that this is just an attack on one particular group. These people don't care what colour, creed, religion, all of us are in danger. I hope people wake up to that. Sorry, lovely, did you want to add on to anything what I've just mentioned?
Yeah, so
sorry, yeah, you're going.
No, lovely is there for you.
No, you can let the other member, the other participant talk. Over input.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I was going to say, obviously, I can literally totally relate to what Rangi's saying. Like I said, in my case, my children, I don't go out. I'd rather stay at home and drink if I'm going to drink. And in my case, I'm married to a black Jamaican man. And obviously there's an age difference, but they're trying to use him that he abuses me, but they can't because I've always basically showing myself, like my body. So now they're using that I'm physically, mentally abusing my husband. And yeah, they're literally just using everything they can against me, but I've done nothing wrong away from tell them to basically go and do one. And because I stood up to them, they don't like that. That's why they've now took my kids, because I've stuck up for myself.
We're going to get them back then.
We are going to get them back, 100%.
Darling, damn straight.
See, they'll always pick on the vulnerable every time. I've seen it too many times. And this is why I'm hoping everybody wakes up, because you pick a topic and we'll talk about it. Let's be open about it. I mean, this is still sugar-coated right now. I mean, my gosh, the amount of stuff that's actually on here that we don't really discuss. You know what? The worst thing is, why doesn't people want the evidence? Independently, right now, over the last 4 years, I've been saying this. For any clarity, please get in touch. How are you supposed to fight this fight if you don't have evidence? You don't go into a battlefield, people shooting at you with at least a pistol you need, never mind a machine gun, and yet I'm willing to provide you the bazookas. Do you not want to win this fight? Do you want to see what perjury looks like? Do you want to see what happens when they abuse our children behind the scenes and they get caught? Social workers, team managers, directors, chief executives, MPs, mayors, councillors. What about Judge Matthews, Gillian Matthews, Judge Spencer? You see, I could do this, but wouldn't you want to see the evidence so you could do the same thing? My whole purpose is to give you the ammunition. You look at live here. I said a child, a victim of child sexual abuse, speaks up, brings 999, Childline, NSPCC, 101, MPs, councillors, mayors, Kafkas, but nobody comes forward. Now, before I go on, Kafkas, a lot of people are thinking there's something different. No, Kafkas is the same crap, just under a different name as social services. So let me move forward. So this is what they do, and this is what they do. These cover up all that information. And I've got cases on that right now with evidence to back myself up. And live witnesses that are testifying to this, and evidence that the police knew about all this and shh. See, they're not all brave and strong and caring like Maggie Oliver. A lot of these police officers are sellouts. Their departments are sellouts. Remember that. Which leaves us, if they're covering all this up, these are still in the streets amongst the communities. Is that not a sign of concern? Absolutely. So when you're going into a battlefield, don't you want the evidence? Now, a lot of people, you know, when they've been saying about minorities and other people, there's so many minorities who have gone through this very same heinous crime, but you'll never hear about it because they're too busy trying to make you think it's something else. They want to divide and conquer. Divide, make us fight each other. But listen, the game is over. To me personally, 95% of the population that I've met, which is in the millions, they're all awake. They know the jig is up. They know what's happening, and they're standing together. They're not bothered what colour I am, what background, what religion. They're not bothered. They just see me as an Englishman with a tan. And I'm happy for that. Lovely, did you have another question there?
No, I don't. I'm just listening. Sorry, some of what you're saying, Rangi, is going over my head because I'm a young parent. I've got 2 children. My eldest is just turned 7, so they haven't got much, like, kind of, I would say, free will yet. They're not like independent, where, you know, they're doing stuff where I don't know what they're up to. But I'm scared, obviously, from what you're saying. I'm scared for their future. You know what the system's got in store for them. One wrong move by me seems like, could jeopardize my kids' livelihood. I could have my kids taken away. So it's just more pressure on me to always monitor them and be a good parent. Make sure.
Can I come here a minute, mate?
Yeah, just 1 second. Just finish off there, Lovely.
Yeah, so it's just, I feel like, are you talking that, from experience? Have you had some sort of experience? I mean, has something happened to you?
Yeah. So I've gone through experience, and I am somebody who's actually seen, dare say, well over 10,000 cases myself. Victims are coming in daily. Victims of child sexual abuse are coming forward on a daily basis. And I ask myself, how are these people coming to me?
Yeah, I'm fortunate that I don't have anyone in my family, immediate family, or my extended family who have experienced this problem. And God forbid, I hope I don't. And I wouldn't wish it on anyone. Yeah, it's just,
Okay,
the way.
Right, while Rangi's popped away, I'll jump in here. What you got to remember, Lovely, is basically work on your fear and put everything that they do on your fear. What people have got to understand is, right, when they put you in a state of fear by threatening you to take your children away, that's when you, as a parent, as a man, as an individual, has got to stand up and say, actually, do you know what? No. I am not going to be in fear of the threat of you taking my child away through hearsay or an assumption or a made-up allegation. this is where you've got to be strong as a person or as an individual and say, actually, do you know what? No, I'm not taking any of your shit.
Look, Darren, let me just answer because, this is not sugar-coated what we do here. And I'm glad that he's got children, so he's old enough to understand what I'm going to say next. Hook or crook, these people will make any shit up against you. Okay, they don't give a shit. The whole nation, they've been stealing children. What does that tell you? They handed over 10,000, they sold 10,000 of our children to a child trafficking ring. They get bonuses, they have targets to maintain and bonuses to collect. So for example, adoption bonuses, it ranges anywhere between 30 and 40,000 pounds. That's for one child. Up to 4 children, it ranges between 80 and over 90,000 pounds. Everything I've just said is on my TikTok with evidence. So is this a sign of consent? Damn right it is. This is evil, criminal activity taking place in broad daylight. And the target is our babies. Mass murder, genocide. So I don't want to not say, I want to keep it very, very simple, and hopefully you understand how you can protect yourself to a degree. Yes, you can. And what you could do is you could get your phone, any meeting you have with any of these people, document, record, everything. But the issue that you're going to have, this government, this system is so distorted and broken and fraudulently put together. So let me give you an example. Right at the beginning, when I was involved with these, I told them that they're liars, criminal storytellers, because I had the evidence, because they were manufacturing documents. And they said, you've got to go through a complaint procedure. So they could keep committing fraud, stealing your children, but you've got to go through a complaint procedure. While you're going through that complaint procedure, the false information is then provided to the police and the judges, etc., and then they want the same thing to keep your children away from you. The solicitors, load of nonsense, same crap with them as well. Okay? Then by the time you get to the complaint procedure at the end of it, firstly, a complaint procedure from stage 1 to the ombudsman is supposed to take 4 months. But it'll take you 4 years or a decade. In that decade, they've already stolen your children, mistreated your children, abused your children, and threw them out in the gutters on the street as well. And you're still going through a complaint procedure. So here is a complaint procedure where abuse is okay as long as you go through a complaint procedure. The system is operating illegally. Simple as that.
Maggie, can I just ask, what kind of case or what kind of mistake does a parent have to make in order for them to have a reason to take your kids?
So I'll give you an example now. Let's say, I'll give you live examples. Let's say your child is at school, trips over in a playground at school. Right. The child will come home, they'll know it's happened. The child will come home, you'll see the graze, you'll ask the child. The child will then tell you, and the chances are what you'll do is you'll get some, B35 or whatever it is, and you put some cream on it, because it'll only just be a graze. The next day the child goes to school, they will call social services and the police in and say, look at this graze here. Yet it took place in their school playground, but they don't care. So you don't have to do anything wrong, they'll make it up. Okay? So I want to make it very clear. Now, yes, if there's something that you do wrong, now what can you look out for? Well, looking out for your child, telling that child that you don't want to get them involved in this psychotic child sex education that they're trying to groom our children at the early sick age, the way they're doing it. You tell them that you don't want them to be part of it, they'll say that's abuse and they'll steal your children. Do you see where this is going? So you could do everything right. They don't give a shit, the dirty little mother. Yeah. Okay? Perpetrators, child abusers, devil worshipping, little animals. So they need to keep the paws off our kids. And this is why I'm putting it harshly. I'm not here to make it sugar-coated. And you want to see evidence? Let me show you evidence. And you know, now comes to that part where some people say, hey, there's real cases out there. There's real cases out there. They need intervention. Hey, all you people that think like that, wake the hell up, will you? Well, that's what I'm talking about. Real victims waking up, speaking up, to speak up about these perpetrated crimes are being covered up by them. What do you mean, real cases? It's mind-boggling what people are going through. Then on top of that, you know, we're talking about baby P. Baby P is one. Do you even know how many children have been unalived in their care? The last figure I had, and that was about 2 months ago, it's well over 450. What do you mean safeguarding child protection? What the love of earth what do you mean? These are titles, words meaning nothing. Safeguarding children, child protection. Look at this. But I'm telling you this is simply because I can't show it on public media. But every person who comes in front of me, 100% unanimous decision. MPs, councillors, mayors. And usually what happens, everybody resigns. I put them on the sick. And I'm happy to do that. I'm happy to travel the country and put them, all these dirty people, on the sick and stop this. But you know they're not going to allow that. But they can't stop me at the moment, but somewhere across the line they will. They'll try to do something stupid, and before they do that, don't you think you need to have the evidence, the information of everything that I'm talking about? Because the jig is up. The game is over. We know what's happened. So this is, and then you've got to look at all the good family members, good parents, that they are then manufacturing concerns, manufacturing crimes, manufacturing documents. They come to your house, oh, we just a random check, they'll say. And you'll have a brilliant dialogue. There'll be no issues, no concerns, but when they go, in the documents, oh, the man was aggressive. I feel there's domestic violence in there. I feel that future risk of emotional harm could be in there. And they'll come with the police to steal your babies. I hope that answers your question.
Scary. It's really eye-opener, you know.
Yeah, well, these things are happening, whether I like it or not. It is happening. I don't know. And that's why I'm saying, if anybody wants to see evidence relating to this, please come forward. Don't you want to see evidence that's actually making them all go on the sick? See, now if I could send them all on the sick, if you knew what I knew, you had the evidence that I have, you'd be doing a lot more than what I'm doing. I did.
You alright?
Hello, gorgeous.
Alright, guys.
So you see, you know, I'm hoping people wake up and take this matter seriously. Whether you like it or not, this is happening. We can't change it. And it needs to stop. And the other young man that came earlier on, let me tell you something. You know, nobody wants violence. I definitely don't condone violence. But one thing I will tell you, if you mess about with a kid and it's in front of me, I'm not going to say, excuse me, sir, can you please stop? No, I'm just going to give you I'm going to drag him off. Where the hell does it say that you rape a woman or abuse a child? Oh, excuse me, sir, get a grip of yourself. They've made us incompetent, that we got to rely on the police. And the police are inadequate in all areas and unfit for purpose and corrupt. And don't get me wrong, there's solutions in there. and we need to put them solutions in place. We need to start moving forward in bringing people to the front line of it, which I'm going to be trying to do in every town and city. It's not going to be overnight, but let me tell you something. The biggest success that we'll have faster is everybody coming together. Once people start coming together, it's game over. They're not going to be able to get away with it.
There was a guy on the other night, Rangi, going on about like common law and stuff. Social workers actually need consent, and the affects the policing. If you know what to say to them, they have like police powers for 72 hours. I do know this because after I've learnt law and I'm not surviving, I'm still surviving. I know with common law that they need you. I really don't want to say names and that, but a similar situation to mine, we've known the law. I am going to say it was my daughter. When you've learned positive parenting and you've been alienated from your own family, so my daughter's got 4 children, and I haven't been a proper grandma to them because for the first 2 years I was fighting social services and they made all my family keep me away. This is what they do, alienate you, I couldn't even get the words out there, and keep people away from you. So my daughter was going through a similar situation. She had postnatal depression, and when the police came into the house, because one of the kids had got on the street while she was on her errand, the house was untidy. So the police put a report in and sent the social workers. But I said to the police, you can't even get involved without consent, knowing the law. You have 72 hours to make sure that these kids are fine, whatever. And they made me mum look after there was only 3 kids at the time, all the 3 kids. And then they investigated the police for 72 hours and then given them back. She was going through, obviously, postnatal depression, and sometimes you can't tidy up. All mums get like this. But her house was untidy, and I can't be a proper grandma because they made her keep away from me. So like I say, if you know what to say, they have no powers at all. None. Unless you're like a victim like I was, when you don't know. I wish I had all this, Rangi, back then, because I was going live on Facebook and everything, but TikTok wasn't a thing. I knew Rangi about I think it was maybe 2 years after I was doing all my protesting and stuff. But like I say, once they target you, I'm very well known that they've targeted my job, they've targeted my housing. I'm not going to lie, they are evil until you know what to say to them.
Can you share those with us, Debbie? Can you share some of those that information with us? What should you say when you face it?
Well, when you go back to common law, no injury, no harm, no loss. And when your human rights, not a lot of people know how many human rights you have, which is 30 for an adult and 15 for children. And one of those rights is you have a right to a private life without authorities delving in. Nobody is above the law. Police, social workers, they are goddamn the public servants. That's what they are. When you know what to say to them. So like I say, come on, you've got to say.
No, Debbie, you're 100%. I'm going to do 2 points and then I'm just going to do something. I'm going to leave you for a second. You see, with you, the ordeal you went through, and then it was yeah. Now you see, this is the whole reason why I'm doing what I'm doing. They blackmailed me by using my babies against me and told me that, Mr. Latif, if you speak up, you'll get a criminal record, and then what will become of your children? They threatened me, blackmailed me, entrapped me.
Yeah, and I've been through all that.
No, one second. So for me, I was stuck with them abusing my children, and I had evidence, right? But I had to stay silent until 2020, when everything wasn't finished.
Was over.
But what they couldn't do is use my children. And at that point, now I'm coming for all of them. all the women social workers, and I'm saying women deliberately, because they have it in their head as a woman they could abuse your children. No,
My
you
children
can't.
are older now. My children are a lot older.
Absolutely. I had to wait. Now, that doesn't mean there's no men. There was men as well. The power gets to their head. These are perpetrators. And do you know what? Through this carry on, I actually found a lot of amazing social workers who couldn't believe it, who were seeing the evidence. But when they're seeing it, they would get sacked. They would get removed. They'd be put on the sick. Deliberately. You understand? It was shocking. Absolutely shocking.
I'll tell you
But
a
now-
little secret.
No, you. If you just have a chat with and keep an eye on Mr. Lovely, because I know he wanted some questions.
Right, go on.
Pauline, I'm just going to leave you because I've got a call. I'm just going to make sure that call's okay.
You all right, Dad?
Yeah, you.
Yeah, what you at, girl? What's happening?
God, me right now, it's going good for me. So my story's massive in the UK, in Cumbria. I keep thinking I'm talking to my American friends right now, because like, it's, yeah. What do you want to ask me?
No, nothing, darling. I was just like,
All right, go on then.
seeing if I could help.
So like, I don't even know where to start, because like, I've tied myself up. I've gone from the bottom to like them taking me to court, where I'm now taking them to court. They have, the stuff that they've done to me is unreal, where some mums and dads don't even make it this far.
No.
I don't know. You don't meet people by accident. I want to help people. Like at the end of the day, like most cases start in the home. Like some people don't know how to parent. Just give them advice. I just think if there's like support, like my charity, we support people. If you need parenting, we'll show you how to parent. If you need relationship advice, we can. You don't need social services. You don't need police, unless obviously someone tried to murder you, of course. But yeah, it's actually madness. But they can target you, 100%.
100%. I think what people need to come to the understanding of and realise is that we're the ones with the power. We're the ones that can actually turn around and say, actually, no, I'm not having that. You can stand there and accuse me of these heinous things. I now want the legal, lawful proof.
So this is where I don't do legal. I don't do legal lawfully. Your children, in law, they are your property. It's actually mad what I've learned. So like in the first incident, like in my court, when I first went to court, I represented myself. I'm here. I was a mum. I had twins. I had a set of twins. Kai who was 6 or 7. I had Darcy who was 11 at school, and I was trying to do everything. I was 6 stone wet through. As one baby was going to sleep, the other one was waking up. All I needed was helping to put them into a routine, and they targeted me. They put me in the kids in a school. I had to walk out the back door. Nursery was there. They did all this. But I'm going to let you into a secret. When I was 18, before I had any kids, I had a fight over a karaoke machine. All these years on, that lady's daughter was a manager with a different name. I was never getting my kids back. So in the last 2 years, I've been investigating, and now I've taken them to court through I don't know how it's going to pan out, but all the evidence is there of what they've did to me. It's all been personal. So watch this space, because my court date it was meant to be December, but it's turned to the 4th of January.
Well, if you need any help with this, darling, let me know, because
Do you know what? I've done this all myself, like researching. When you've had your kids taken off you for, well, they weren't even taken, they just weren't returned on a weekend with the dad who took me to court, put it in place, and they kept the kids for risk of emotional abuse.
And
in case I got a partner and we started arguing, it's like a crystal ball method, because they had nothing else but
so they've removed the kids on the belief of emotional abuse.
Absolutely.
Right. What proof did they have?
None. or previous relationships. They were trying to say my second relationship would have been the same as my first. But if we never ever had anything to argue about, we'd do through text message.
Okay,
He was just not helping me, and it was just, yeah.
Do you know what my reply? Do you know what my reply to when they say that? Do you know what my reply to them is? Assumption is the mother of all fuck ups. You're assuming something, therefore you're fucking up, basically. Unless you can prove your assumption, right? You've got nothing. I now want you to lawfully prove your assumption. Here and now, prove it.
Absolutely, but when I went to court, there was 4 children. Darcy, like 4 of them, 11 down to the twins. Twins went with grandparents and his girlfriend. So 3 of them went there, and my brother had my daughter. So I was up against my brother and his solicitor, the legal guardian and the solicitor, the social services and the solicitor, dad and his solicitor, ex-husband for Darcy and his solicitor, and another one, I can't even remember now. I was up against all those people. I was intimidated, I was gaslighted. Now, 4 years on, I can control my emotions. I've been to domestic violence courses. I'm now a charity organisation trustee. I am so far up, they couldn't touch me right now. Absolutely couldn't. Unless they planted something in me house. I don't know. But no, they couldn't touch me right now.
Well done, sister. Big
my life. You know what I mean? I just wanted a little bit of guidance. And
listen, if you need any, give me a shout. If you need any, give me a shout. I'll happily back you up, happily.
Yeah. So, like, anybody out there that needs help, I can give a load of advice. Just send me a message.
Yeah, I think we're both in the same avenue there. If anybody on here now listening in or on the live, you know what I mean, in the comments or anything else like that, anybody needs any help, that's what we're here for.
Darren?
Yes, darling?
I've got a question for you from a very good friend of mine who's agreed for me to share her story to see if there was any way you could help her.
I'll try, darling.
She's not this age anymore. She was 14. She was abused by a parent's friend. And 9 months later, she had a little boy. They took the little boy off her on future risk of emotional harm because they said that she couldn't look after herself to keep herself from getting abused, that was their main reason. Then they adopted him out, but then she went on to have more kids later on in life, and they got back involved after her 5th child, and then they took them on the same grounds because she couldn't have the first one, and she's wondering what she can do.
Right. Now, from my point of view, like I keep saying to everybody, ask them, like I said to you the other day, tell them you want in writing the legal, lawful terminology and reason from the judge to the reason why they've been removed. You want it in writing, legally, lawfully, however you want to express it. You want an explanation, a legal one and a lawful one, as to why you can't be involved in your children's lives or why they've been removed. Under what law have they removed that child? Not under a policy or a legislation or an act or anything else like that. You want the legal, lawful reason why.
They said it was because she didn't keep herself from what happened when she was 14. Then,
well, listen, she was a minor. Right. What they won't take into account is, like, no disrespect to the ladies on here or anything else like that, but when you're young and you've got a good-looking 18, 19-year-old, or however old this guy was, that did something wrong to her. You know what I mean? It's all exciting. You know, we were there. We were kids once. We knew how exciting it was if an older lady, or, you know, especially like an older guy or an older girl was interested in us, and we thought, oh, yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I get you 100%. The point she was trying to get out of social services was, why did they send her back to the perpetrator who had admitted what they'd done and that he was sexually abusing her, but then took her baby?
Right, what, like I keep saying to him, right, and Rangi keeps saying it, Gary keeps saying it, this whole system is a fraudulent system. Like I said to somebody the other day, you've got to stand up, you've got to be strong, you've not got to take any of these people's crap. Everything they say, you've got to call them out on. Okay, prove it. I want you to prove it. Not like Rangi says, I don't want crap findings, I want fact findings. I want
Darren,
actual proof.
Darren, there's a lot of people who are so, like, I'm going to say indoctrinated, because a lot of people don't know, like, and they just take it and end up in court and have the kids took off them. They don't know about, like, the go off hearsay evidence. Well, that's what they were on mine, and I was standing shouting human rights, and that they had me. Yep. Now, oh God, I can't wait to get in this courtroom. I swear to God, roll on bloody January. But a lot of people don't know what to say.
No, they don't, unfortunately. Whereas, like, I mean, I'll be honest with you. Like my profile says, I'm a bit of a ruthless mother. I'm a bit of a ruthless mother. I am not scared. I am not intimidated. I will call a judge, excuse my French, ladies, I will call a judge a cunt, and I will tell him to his face that he is a cunt. And I will tell him straight, no, that's my child. That's my child. You're doing wrong. I don't care what you think. If you carry on with your actions, I'm going to hold you responsible.
Yeah.
If you think I'm scared of you and the supposed action that you think you can take against me, well, hold on, mate. The role can be reversed. I can take action against you as well. Remember that. So if you want to go head-to-head with me as an individual, bring it on, mate. I don't care. I'm not scared of you.
Just say you've got a human right to a private life now. Jog on. Rocky Road. Don't let them in. Don't let them in. They've got no power. They actually haven't.
Rocky, right, listen, mate, what you've got to understand is, unless social services are standing there with the police, with a signed, court-stamped, dated document with the judge's name on, so anything does go wrong, he can be, or she can be held accountable.
Yeah.
This is why the judges now won't sign court orders, because they know now if something does go wrong, they're liable, held accountable, and they don't like it.
Absolutely. But when you learn to be
sorry, Dev. That's why I turn around to everybody and say, get it in writing from the judge. Get him to sign that document, giving you the proper legal, lawful reasons why. Not the bullshit, like Rangi says, not the bullshit reasons. You want the facts, not the crap.
Oh, I'm just putting my eating on, I'm freezing. So
Rangi,
guys, I am a trustee.
Now, mate, it's my turn. I'm going to go and grab the
Can I give you the little bit of good news?
Go on then, mate.
How do you turn your camera around on these bloody cameras? Oh my days. How do you do it, Rangi?
There should be a little swivel thing.
Found it. This is my charity stuff. We've got
You
teenagers.
found it. You blocked the video. What do you mean you found it?
Maybe you can't actually see it, Deb.
You can't? Oh, I don't know then. I don't know how to do it.
That's better.
We see it now.
Woohoo!
Well done, darling.
This is for all the children that haven't got much, that haven't got anything, and there's a lot. I don't know how to turn it back round now.
Just push the same button.
Same way, Debbie.
I haven't done it again. Oh, sorry. Oh, God, I'm not good with technology.
Right, well, pause yourself for a second. Just let me get balance. Justice, you there?
Assalamu alaikum. How are you, Rangi? How are you guys? Hello, everybody. Thank you.
Hello,
Thank
brother.
you.
Good evening.
You do. Good evening, guys. Thank you so much for doing what you're doing. I wanted to join earlier, actually. I think I did, but it was the introduction, with the music, so I just left you to it, and I came back around, but then I got busy. So I just saw it, and thank God it was a request box. I just quickly jumped in one time. So thank you very much, honestly, everybody. Where's Gary? How's he doing? Is he okay?
Yeah, he's all right. He's drafting some emails. He comes when he can, which is good.
Rangi, just quick one, just to update you on your situation. Everything okay now, inshallah, in summary? इंशाल्लाह
मैं एक जगह तो एक और जगह I'm doing that at the moment.
Allah Isanya Kirani, Yada Karani. You understood?
Inshallah.
Inshallah. No problem. But yeah. Thank you.
We'll get there.
I want to say thank you. Sorry, if you don't. Sorry, Rangi. Darren is a very consistent. Very. I like what the videos he sends me in my inbox. After about 3 of them, I still got to catch up from the last one he still, sent me. So really, thank you and I appreciate that, Darren.
Oh, mate. I'll keep you informed all the time, brother.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thank you for the opportunity as well, Rangi.
Now we're going to keep moving forward. There's a lot happening. Just trying to keep on top of things. But the worst thing is for these people anyway, not for us. I've only got a couple of weeks. I'm going to sort. Well, actually, I'm more or less literally trying to dodge the bullet. Once I'm dealt with in that side of it, what I'm going to do is everything will be connected at that point. All the platforms, including Zoom, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, Telegram, LCS main page. We're bringing everything together, and everything will be running 24 hours a day and we'll be breaking it all down, and every topic will be, you're going to get evidence for every single thing. And then collectively we could try to deal with it. As well as the issue that we have is this graping business, this situation that's happening in the middle here. As well as the issue that we have is this graping business. Right, Darren, you have to drop something's happened to yours, mate. This graping business that's happening in the middle here, that is now... actually, the links are between this corporate company over here, social services, who have been allowing it. This is the part, the two-tier policing that is actually happening. Because when you find out that they're related to a councillor, an MP, a mayor, it's a totally different game. And if you look at the way the law allegedly is, or messed up judges they are, that they're giving them suspended sentences. Yeah, it depends if you're part of the public, you'll go for 18 years, you go for 15 years, you go for 10 years. You know what I mean? My gosh, hang on, forget that. You do a Facebook post, for example, or you do a message, you'll get 18 months and they're not happy about it. So just Facebook messages, you'll get 18 months. Yeah, grooming, pedophiles, they get suspended sentences. What do you mean you have a law here? You don't have a law. You have people dictating who they want to favour, when they want to favour, and they want to stick with their little ring.
Right. Thank you, Rangi, for that. Can I ask just an additional point I wanted to mention? Darren sent me a video. I forgot the gentleman's name. He was talking about, there's a British, I think it was, no, I forgot the name. It was 1688. It was a particular law, the Bill of Rights of England, right? And that one sounds really powerful as something to implement due to necessity, within the, obviously, the purview of the Islamic law, whatever's in line with that, or due to necessity, right? In this law, this 1688, we're not getting our rights because we don't know these things. And I think the Magna Carta one as well, that people commonly mention.
1666, I think, the one that you're on about. But there's a couple of them, they're trying to destroy all that. You see, you don't even have human rights in England anymore.
That's crazy. That is crazy.
You see, because it's a corporate land.
Yeah.
This is why they're destroying all the farms.
It's Article 61, Rangi.
That's the one, yeah, the Magna Carta. Right? Cheers for that, Neil.
Neo, give us some update, a little bit more on that, just so Balance knows which is Article 61.
Oh, it basically means that when our country is taken over by tyranny in the government,
right,
that we have the right to remove the government.
Wow.
I'm not too versed on it. It's a long time since I've refreshed my head.
Understood.
But yeah, you know, basically the people have the power.
Right.
I think Boris Johnson used something of the something to do with that to get out of his last court case. So he proved that it was a thing in common law, you know.
Right, understood. Thank you very much.
No worries.
Yeah, basically, Neo, what he did, he actually used Article 61, but he also used the Bill of Rights 1689, where he had the right to freedom of speech, right to freedom of expression, and basically he used the British Constitution to get himself out of the shit that he got himself in.
That's right, yeah.
Have a word, Darren. Cheers, guys. That's awesome.
No worries.
I appreciate it, man. It's always awesome to jump on this live. I missed it, actually, now that I'm thinking back about it, reflecting on it.
Well, to be honest, today and tomorrow we probably were going to be making it a little bit earlier, only because I'm jumping through hoops at the moment. So I'm trying to like shift from one place to another just to stay ahead of the game, shall we say. But you see, we need to definitely understand we need to shut down our own government, or really take them out of power, because they don't fit for purpose. And that's the reality of it. We need to shut them down, need to pack them up, because it's only going one way right now. And it'll just continuously go down that rabbit hole. It'll never stop. All the raping, abusing, mistreating, stealing. Look at the pensioners, for the love of God. People who've got assets, they're putting them in pension homes, then they're stealing their properties as well that they've worked all their life for. That if anything should be part of an inheritance to go to their children. So they're literally, in every aspect, they're stealing either wealth or our babies. And they don't care because they lie as criminal storytellers. Sheikh Faisal? Nice to have you join us.
How are you doing? Okay.
Yeah, good. Did you have a question or a comment you maybe wanted to ask?
So I know you said that we don't have human rights anymore here in the UK. Yeah. But are we still covered under the ECHR? I know they're trying to do away with that as well.
They are trying to do away with that as well. But this is the reason why it's so important that we get rid of these people in the parliament.
What's the ECHR?
Get rid of all of them.
European Convention of Human Rights.
Oh, right. Thank you very much. Got you.
But that covers basically a lot of human rights. I know in America they've already started getting rid of human rights with the COVID vaccines. They're saying that anyone that was injected with the vaccine is no longer, because your DNA has been altered because of the vaccines. They used that argument in one of the high courts over there. You know, and it got very technical, like, you know, but basically they're saying you're no longer human. You know what I mean? It's crazy. It's crazy, man.
I was going to say, what's his name? Where's he gone? Darren, yeah. What's it called? The Androchrome or something. The Androchrome. And the brother British Pack TV, he made a post about that. I think
Dendrochrome.
Yeah, what's it called again, please? Sorry.
Dendrochrome.
Dendrochrome, right? Dendrochrome.
I've got some info on that. Send me a text and I'll send you it.
Are you talking about adrenochrome?
That's the one. Thank you.
Oh, where it's in the baby's blood, innit? It's the first adrenaline rush.
Yeah.
And it goes out at such a high burst, and they have to. I don't know. It's like they do some crazy ritual, and it basically restores your cells. restores them, yeah, or recreates them or something. So you
That's
look,
basically what a lot of the world's problems are based around. It's the most highest priced drug on the market.
yeah.
But you know, you mentioned that, Sheikh, that it restores their
Cells, yeah.
cells. One of the things, I mean, I'm hoping they're always watching, you know, just to remind them, a good backhander or a good kick up the ass will also give you the same rush. So, you know, when we catch you, we will start doing that. You know what I mean?
Well, you know what? One of the things of it is it causes cancer. So you'll realise that a lot of these big stars, they obviously suffer from cancer. You know, at some point in their life, and you hear about it, whether it's royalty or you know the higher echelons of society. And really, it's because of stuff like that. They're crazy. They're psychotic. It's psychotic. It's crazy. It's madness in the brain.
Yeah, they are a bunch of insane people, man. Or many of them.
Well, the thing is, there is only one option. There is no secondary options. People are always trying to say, well, maybe this, maybe... It's not going to happen. The only option is to solve the problem. We're not going to be able to solve the problem by having the same government that has been allowing the abuse for decades.
Yeah.
It's corrupt. And until all the judges, social workers, team managers, councillors, MPs, mayors have not had an investigation and dealt with, it's dangerous to work with, and that includes the police force.
Right.
But none of them want to work. They don't want to comply. They don't want to work with you. They want to stay quiet. And now they brought it to that point where if we don't protect our children, tomorrow we're going to cry for what they're going through. And I've seen enough of that's going on. It's just a narrative, just stealing our kids again and again. This is child trafficking.
Abroad, Rangi? Like if we all went abroad to various respective countries, right? Whether it be in Europe, Middle East, somewhere, even in the southeast or south, you know, wherever it may be, our respective, you know, grandparents or parents' countries, or you know, if you look at ethnicity with the DNA tests, even. Like, you know, back to where we, not in a trying to be funny way, but in a sense where if we packed up and left, like the main people of this one, who actually, like, you know, to do with the food, clothing, you know, mattresses, you know, the actual run, the kind of country, so to speak, aside from the people in power. What do you think about that as an alternative solution?
No, 100%. So this goes back to people I was saying actually, you know, a lot of people are talking about these asylum seekers coming into the country. I want to remind everybody, there's more people leaving from England on a yearly basis than refugees coming in. Wow. Legal or illegal.
That says a lot.
Says a lot. Yeah. So one of the other things I will say is these other nations that our government is saying they're bad ones. Russia is one of those nations that has been opened their doors for all refugees from the Western nations, because one of the things he's seeing is the fact that what they're doing to our children. You know, it was actually in the Russian channel, he actually made a mockery of the West. He goes, I've got no objections of going to war with these idiots because these idiots don't even know they're a man or a woman anymore. So what am I fighting?
Yeah.
Okay. You know, people might say that's wrong, but get a grip, man. I mean, these are reality of what people are doing. Yeah, and he's actually opened the door. There's a lot of people from America, Canada, and UK that have started fleeing to Russia. And Turkey, they've been going, all the Western nations, in particularly the Muslim nations, a lot of people are going fleeing to all of them, Dubai, Saudi, because they've learned what's happening. Exactly. And this is why they're trying to bring more and more people in, because the number is reducing.
The population and the economy, right?
Yeah.
And there's also concerns about literacy and in terms of crimes, isn't there?
Yeah. But these crimes, the problem is our police department should be there to prevent crimes, but it's no longer to prevent. It's allowed to, it's letting the public commit crimes. And this is why I'm speaking about all this, about the middle here. Because if they allowing for this to take place, it only benefits one thing, It keeps them in business, the police, and it gives babies over here for them to steal.
Exactly.
You see?
Yeah.
So it's the psychotic psychopaths who are running the show.
Sadly, yeah, it's a reality. And thank
That's
you for the private stories. Pardon me. Sorry, Rangi. Thank you. I'm just sorry not to cut you in, but I wanted it before as well. Survivor stories. Yeah, thank you for the. I don't know what you call them blue things. I don't even know what they're called. She sent me like loads. So thank you so much. Or he, I don't know who it is. I think it's a she. I'm not sure.
You know, this sister of ours, the survivor, she's, you know, a horrible ordeal that she's went through. Over 1,000 people involved. And nobody bothered about her, didn't care about her, and she's gone through these heinous crimes.
Right.
And you know, and then now.
Rangi, do you want me to jump out so Survivor can come in and tell her story if she wants to?
Yeah, Survivor shot a request in. You don't mind?
I think she said she's silenced for 24 hours.
Yeah.
She's been her account's been silenced, so after 24 hours she'll be back. I think so. I may be wrong.
They did say something in the comments, but I'll have a read. I'll have a look.
Oh yeah, I did. Yeah, my bad. Sorry, she didn't say that. Yeah.
I mean, I'll drop as well.
24 hours will be tomorrow, so get yourself ready, because you know it's unbelievable. You know, everything that I'm talking about here, victims being victimized, and that's what's happening to this sister.
They're gaslighting the people.
Yeah, and this is exactly what's going to happen to every one of our children today.
God forbid.
So what do they mean by safeguarding? What do they mean by child protection? What do they mean about policing?
I think it's just control. I think it's just control, honestly.
No, it's control, but I think one of the days, I was speaking to Gary, I'm going to open the can of worms a little bit, because some people just don't get it. But if you look at, we might have to go into religion actually, just to help people to understand. This is why I talk about the Christians and the Catholics and why people need to come together. Because look, as a Muslim, we're waiting for the return of who? Isa al-Islam, Jesus, peace be upon him.
Mary, peace be upon him, the Prophet of Allah.
Yeah. So if we're all waiting for the same Messiah, we're all actually on the same path. But what's the root causes and everything? It's very, very simple. And at the end of the day, it's our job to defend each other.
We're not on the same path. We believe different, no doubt, but we have similarities too. I would say that. Commonalities, yeah. I agree with that.
We have more in common than we have apart, people.
That's what it is. That's what it is. That's what we mean, yeah.
We as people, just alone,
as well, yeah.
We're living, breathing entities. You know what I mean? We are like. Right. Yeah. I don't like using this word, but we are the human race. We are a race of people.
There's nothing wrong with using that term.
Like Rangi says, it's not about the colour of our skin, our religion, or anything else like that. It's about who we are as individuals, as people, and coming together to say, hold on, these people that are abusing our children, they're like seriously deluded in the head.
Yeah, for sure.
No, 100%. And like I said before, when we cut ourselves, what colour blood do we bleed? We all bleed the colour red.
Red? It's red like the Ferrari on my picture. You know?
Look, like I say, we're actually in war. I mean, a lot of people are... You know what? Let me talk about this side of it just for a second, just so people understand, because, you know, this brings religion into it a little bit, because people were saying to me a while back, saying, hey, look, because it's racially motivated, people, it's not right, just to help them to understand. So a person said to me, he goes, look, if we went to war with another Muslim nation, what would you do? I said, well, look, I said, in the Quran, it tells us that we need to defend our nation where we're at, and to invade if anybody's coming to invade. So really what would happen is I'd be on the beach front with my brothers and of all communities with a rifle, making sure the women and children behind us are now vulnerable or protected. But there's also another verse that continues. It says that if our own people started to rob, rape, steal, and do the very same thing. It just means get your rifle and turn it back around. Okay, so which makes it that you're a patriot. And actually, that civic dialogue that I actually had with the person who actually asked the question was quite awake at the time, and now he's a lot more awake. So now he said, well, now that makes sense that we all need to stick together, because it's not about colour, creed, religion. It's about protecting and serving. Go on, Balance.
Pardon me, sorry, but thank you for that. Yeah, and I get what you mean, because in the Quran it mentions about giving the understandings to be just as, just witnesses, stand out or stand up as just witnesses, be it against yourselves or those anyone beloved, even beloved to you, or against yourself. You have to stand that just. So if a non-Muslim is right in an issue and a Muslim is wrong, we're going to side by the non-Muslim in that which he is correct.
Yes.
Against the Muslim out of justice and fairness and equity and being true to God and true to the people. Secondly, if a Muslim has been wrong and it's a non-Muslim, likewise, we're not taking the law into our own hands. It's for those in authority and those systems, not to harm the people. And we have covenants of peace and security with the non-Muslims as living as a minorities in the non-Muslim majority countries, ruling by other laws. We obey the law as long as it doesn't go against our religion. In those aspects, we obey the law. It's no problem. There's no, or there's something forced to do like pay certain taxes or insurance, whatever it may be, because you know what I mean, things like that. No problem. However, when it comes to the Muslim lands, if they're being attacked, the soldiers, the people in authority and those armies, they will defend it and protect the men, women, and children, and the vulnerable, the sick. Likewise, the non-Muslims living under Islamic law in Muslim countries, they're protected as minorities, Jews, Christians, and worshippers or Hindus, whatever they may be. This is something Islam, is very clear on, and you're not to harm them, you're not to oppress them, you're not to do any kind of harm or be treacherous to them, whether in their country, non-Muslim majority countries, or in the Muslim lands. Islam deals with everything justly. You're not supposed to kill someone you have a covenant, a covenant of security and safety with, because the Prophet said, whoever does that, all the fragrance of paradise. So I will argue against him on the day of resurrection. Whoever does that, kill someone we have a treaty, a covenant of security and safety with, someone to be protected under Islamic law, or something like this. So, as he says, so someone be very careful, of these things,
No, you're 100% right. Now, this is the thing. This is what's actually waking people up, because people now understand it. See, a lot of people have been dividing, misguiding, the distraction, as we know, they distract. But remember, I'd normally say they tell us about a whole load over here while they're robbing and raping and stealing over here. It all starts connecting if you actually understand. It's like, go on, let you finish up first.
Yes, thank you. I want to say, in the Quran it says, all Jews and Christians come to a common word that is just between us and you, that we worship none but Allah, God alone, and we associate and ascribe no partners unto Him, and we take not as lords and gods besides Allah anything or what. And if they turn away, say, bear witness that we are Muslims who submit and surrender to Allah with pure and true monotheism and acquire peace. This is the invitation. This is the common goal, that we believe in God alone, worship Him alone. We do not ascribe partners to Him, and do not take others as gods besides God. Even in the Ten Commandments and the red letter, Bible, supposed words of Jesus. This is this common ground, and then obviously whatever is not sinful and transgression, harming ourselves, anybody else, or infringing upon their rights, we should also cooperate in those affairs. I believe so. There's no contradiction there. That's all.
Yeah, well, this is the thing, you see. It's hopefully now people need to wake up. Well, they are actually. The thing is, it's too late. They can't stop it. And I think one of the brothers mentioned, I'm not sure if it was Neo Darren, saying that, they have a lot of power, it's going to take a lot. Well, actually, they've lost the clutches. They're clutching on straws right now, okay? And that's where they are, because they literally are clutching on dead straws. They're only, that's then to do with the religious side of it, that a certain time will still come where they'll overdo, because the mass of it is actually international. All the solutions internationally is actually a lot of it to do with this country. If we fix this country, we will fix the international problems, because this is the root or ground zero of all these atrocities. And that is a fact. Whether people like it or not, it is happening. You understand? And we need to focus on that. Francesca, how are you this evening?
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Hi. I wanted just to ask a question. So, I was reading the statement what they did for the court now, the criminals, and I was reading that they want to remove my parental responsibility, which is different from parental custody. They have taken the custody already. Now they're looking at parental responsibility because they say, because I am applying for care order. They don't want us to have a bigger house and they don't want the children to come back. They applied also for passport for the children to go abroad, which is really, it's very clear that this is a nasty intention anyway, trying from all over the corner. And they said that with parental responsibility, a parent can always decide when the child can leave. And of course, and I can. And they said that you have to hang down the passport and the birth certificate also of the children if they're going to remove your parental responsibility. This is normally in very, very rare cases when something like this happens, But they don't care what the law is saying. They're just using the bad law case. Yeah, it's called bad law case for bringing and achieving what they want. You understand? And this is, I wanted just to ask also, can a judge remove a British passport also?
Right. Sometimes you ask the question, you answer it yourself, but then you ask it again, and I'm like, well, which one do you want me to do? So,
I know, it's not my fault.
Yeah, no, because you ask the question, then you give the answer yourself.
I will just to ask if...
No, that's all right. Look, they could do anything they want in the bullshit courts. And they do. They do any crap they want. And they call themselves judges. And this is why I'm doing what I'm doing, because if they are judges, they've got to be held accountable for. So everything that I'm talking about here has been blamed and framed on the judges. So I want to hold all the judges who are involved. I don't give a shit who you are. Where does it say that, we abuse children for a living and we'll just keep passing the book along? You can only pass it on so long. And in that passing the book along, they've already run out of MPs, councillors, mayors, because everybody keeps going on sick. You know what I mean? It's a sickness of them. And I want to directly target every single one. So you talk about the courts, they literally do whatever the shit they want. Okay, you could oppose the decision. You could appeal the decision.
Yeah.
You can, you just need to give them a good enough reason. But this is going back to what Darren was saying before, that they need a lawful, genuine reason for why. Actually, I'll let him rephrase that, just so you understand. They probably still ignore that as well. Darren?
I'm really wondering how...
Yeah, 1 second, just do one at a time. Darren, you're muffled first.
Right, basically, Francesca,
yeah.
Firstly, do you have their birth certificates and their passports?
Yeah, of course, yes.
Okay. Under no circumstances do you let them have them. No circumstances. Okay.
I would never give it to them, but
right. I'll tell you why. Hold on. I'll tell you why. Right. You. Okay. If they remove your children,
they've done it already. They are already gone, my children, with them. I'm trying to get them back.
Okay. Right. Have you got an appeal in at the moment?
I have a solicitor. I'm just lodging now the care order, the appeal.
Okay, right.
Okay.
Go straight to your solicitor Monday morning.
Yes.
You want a lawful, legal reason in writing stating what laws the judge is using, justification from the judge for using those laws to remove your children.
Okay. Yeah, but they have the care order from 2021.
Okay, right. That care order.
Yes.
Okay. Has it got the judge's signature on it? Is it stamped? Is it signed and dated? Is it everything?
Yeah.
Okay. So it has the judge's name on it, it has a date on it, and it's got a stamp on it.
Yeah. Unfortunately, yeah.
Right, okay. Now he is held accountable.
Yes.
That's to your advantage as well, okay? Like I said, contact your solicitor on Monday. You
Dan,
want
one sec. Dan, one sec. Sorry, brother. Thank you very much for joining us.
You're most welcome. Salute. Assalamu alaikum. wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Salam, man.
Thank you for interjecting. Guys, you enjoying, do continue and keep up the good fight. I hope to see you and meet you guys soon, etc. You know, and join in and wherever we can support, we can support. Take care, brother. Simply blessed. Rangi, everyone. Take care. Assalamu alaikum.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
So, Francesca,
Yeah.
like I said, Monday morning, you phone your solicitor.
Yeah, I'm going to see him. Yeah.
Don't ask. Don't be afraid. Don't be scared. You need to be, excuse my expression, the most ballsiest fucking woman on the planet. Okay, and you've got to remember, this is your children you're doing this
Yeah,
for.
I know. Yeah.
Okay, Miss Solicitor, Mr. Solicitor, please write to the judge stating this very clearly. I want a legal, lawful reason in writing, under what laws, stating which laws are you keeping my children. I want justification in writing with the laws you are using to stop me from having my children.
Yes.
Okay? Don't ask, demand.
Yeah. Okay.
Don't back down. Don't do anything. Okay? This puts the onus on the judge to go to all these books, which he fucking won't. Sorry, he will hate doing. He will hate doing this. Okay? And he will have to lawfully and legally justify to you and to your solicitor, right, that is legally binding because it's in writing as to why you are not seeing or you cannot have your children. And you also want the legal, lawful reason in writing from the judge as to why you have to hand your children's passports and birth certificates over.
Yes.
I can guarantee you now, listen, I can guarantee you now, he won't do it. Or they won't do it.
Thank you, darling. Thank you. I am doing this.
They actually have no laws to take your children from you other than their policies, their statutes, their acts and their legislations, which require your consent. And it's even on their own .gov website that requires your consent for them to use their policies, statutes, acts and legislations. They actually need your consent.
I agree on this.
All right.
Right, let me just get in there. Hopefully, Francesca got. So, Francesca, number one, have you got another account?
No.
Have you only got one account?
Well, with TikTok, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, only one, yeah.
All right. Because I've heard this something similar with somebody else, and I was just thinking it was
Gamma.
What, the other account?
Yeah, that's Gamma.
No. Actually, it's UK immigration. You sounded a little bit like that because I've had that person. It's a similar situation, similar problems.
No.
But it's all right. That was just in general to ask you. Now, I do know that originally we were going to come off at 11, but I'm going to give it another 8 minutes, make it for past, only because I'm actually on the road. So I'm going to be moving.
Sorry, Ranji. Darren, you say it has to be legal, lawful...
Reason.
Sorry?
Right.
Reason.
You want a lawful, legal reason, or legal, lawful. Doesn't matter which way round you put
lawful
it.
Reason. Yeah. Okay.
Right.
Thank you.
With the laws.
That are keeping my children, yeah, indeed.
Okay. Why they're keeping your children.
Yeah.
You want it in writing from the
Because the
judge.
care order is a mess. Is absolutely. It's not a care order. It's just a piece of paper written with rubbish inside. That's
Okay,
it.
right. You know that. I know that. All the people that are awoken know the BS that these people give. Right. What I try to tell people is, you're in charge. You're the boss. You demand that they justify what they are doing in writing so they can be held accountable. I can guarantee you now they're going to sit there and think, oh shit, they want to hold me accountable for what I'm doing. Am I actually doing something wrong?
Yeah, but
Hold
the care
on.
order is from another judge because the decision was taken on in 2021 and now we are 2024. So when I say that I want to have a lawful legal reason why they're keeping my children, I mean, and I will do this to the High Court, I mean, to this actual judge now. Is it going to be the same?
Ask exactly. It doesn't matter. It could be the highest Supreme Court judge in this country.
That's what I am.
Yeah, but Dave, Darren, you're not understanding what she's saying. Now, you understand what you're saying, but what she's saying is, with it being a different joint that's already been signed and sealed, well, the damage has been done. Then to ask, isn't it? There's a part in between that you're supposed to appeal the decision, as well as maybe ask. But you can't just ask because they've already took the children.
I understand what you're saying, mate. So, like I keep saying, yeah.
It's very important for me to put that because then you get the right. I mean, at the beginning, on every case, yes, 100% bang on. But it still be bang on after. But if it's already happened, they've already took the children fraudulently and made up the bullshit that they do because our government are bullshitters. They're the biggest bullshit. You know what? They open their mouth, it's like, whoa. You might as well go to the bathroom all the time when you listen to them. This shit comes out of them.
Yep.
The liars, criminal storyteller, biggest genocide England has been doing.
But I think now when you appeal, exactly how Ranji says, this process of appealing against the decision, of course, this request can go to the actual judge, as Darren said also, and then exactly ask, I mean, in writing exactly, under what, lawful legal, law, whatever reason, are they keeping my children? So because then we are talking about a decision that has been made and we are, appealing that decision, isn't it?
Yeah, right. So you're actually in the process of appealing.
Yeah, I am.
Your, like I was saying, your solicitor is involved.
Yeah, it is.
Go to your solicitor. Please send a letter to the judge asking specifically the lawful legal reasons in writing. Under what laws are you keeping me from having my children?
Yeah.
Under what laws? Not what statutes, legislations or acts. If you're going to use those, they require my consent. Right now, you do not have my consent.
Okay.
So,
go on, Darren, finish that off.
So, give me in writing the lawful legal reasons. If you cannot justify those within 7 days, you are to return my children.
Oh, yeah.
With immediate effect.
I'm going to collect them myself. Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you. This is a fantastic law for everybody, I think, isn't it?
Right, so I'm going to add on to that just so people don't get confused. So one of the things that will happen is they'll say the legal lawful reason is all the bullshit that they made up. So then you're going to the chance that you're going to hit that stumble block. Just making it aware. I hope you understand that, Darren. Because
yes, I understand there is obstacles in the way.
This is why it's very important to look at each case, talk about it from stage to stage, all the way through it, to learn out what they actually use. Because one of the things that you're missing big time is the fact that they are liars, criminals and storytellers. So what should be going in, as well as on top of that, is that you've illegally stolen my children on fabricated documents, manufactured crimes, manufactured concerns, manufactured documents, malfeasance in public on office, committing perjury. That's what should be going in as well, okay? Because when you go into war, you don't go in there because they just rob and rape and steal, man. You need to take everything in. And then you put it directly to the judge because it has to happen. And then you say, what was your lawful reason for stealing our children? Or to helping, then it would be helping and aiding and abetting, wouldn't it? Really? Because but it all depends on whether it's aiding and abetting. It all depends on whether you brought this to the attention of the judge to begin with. And if they're still going along with it, then it's aiding and abetting. You see, now for me, I've got evidence that the judges were told that these are providing false information, and the judges were like, well, we trust them. Well, go trust the puppets. Judge Matthews, you liar, criminal, storyteller, Middlesbrough family call, I'm the top dog. What happened now? Like a puppet dog, you've ran off. What about Judge Spencer? You see, all of them, every one of them I'm going to go for. And why? I have every single right, because they are abusers. And look, I used to have a placard billboard and it said on it, loyalty does not pay. So seeing as though you got loyalty and you like to stick your nose up their backsides, well, this is what happens. It's about time maybe stick your head up there, because that's where the only place where you're going to get some sanctuary, because I ain't going to be holding back to you. I hope that makes sense. Look, I was going to clock off at past. I'm actually still going to be clocking off at past. What I'll do is, if anybody that's actually in the boxes right now, we'll get some last commentary. Not commentary, not too lengthy, just some simple, because I want to leave some encouragement for the public. They need to know, because that young man that earlier on came in, he was there bang on right, because I need to focus on solutions. And what are the solutions on this whole mess? Because remember, our police department is turning the other cheek while they rob and rape and abusing our children, stealing our children, manufacturing documents, manufacturing concerns, manufacturing crimes, child trafficking, and the public is staying quiet. Come on, public. I'm more than happy to do my share. And let me tell you something, I'm actually doing a whole load of your share as well. But come and join me, man. Look at how many mothers out there are suffering. How many daughters out there are suffering? How many grandparents are suffering? How many fathers and mothers who are committing suicide? We used to be that nation that one child gets abused, we would cause a major problem. And right now, we've got a major problem where we've got hundreds and thousands of children stolen by these sick psychopaths to abuse our children under the fake flag of safeguarding children, child protection. And remember, some people will say this is actually done on what's known as future risk of emotional harm. That's the crystal ball that they have that doesn't work, full of shit, devil worshipping crap, okay? But today, let me give you some fact findings. At least now I can tell you that 80% of all children going into foster care come out damaged.
Of course.
Having these authority members coming into your home affair, you have 80% fact findings, not crap findings. Statistically, of these abusing your children, they go through minimum emotional abuse, cease contact with these corporate companies. I'm going to get everybody to actually have a little bit in. I think somebody is. Yeah, good. What I'm going to do is... Francesca, let me start with you, my lovely, please. Just your last comment for the evening, because I do know I've got to be up at 7. I just want to...
I only say that what you do every evening is brilliant, and is supporting really all parents, all the people that they have really serious problems in mind and in the family and everything. And I think that this action, this plan, this program that you bring forward is supposed really to be very, very supported to help ourselves and help others to, to tackle this huge crime, because this is it's not a joke. And we live in a corrupted society, and where everything is corrupted and mad, that I think is really necessary action needed to disrupt all these criminals and all these terrorists, whatever it is. And because, I mean, it's not really necessary to live in an agony like this, you know, and suffer for what, you know. So thank you so much anyway again.
No, thank you, sister. I really appreciate you joining us tonight as well. Let me get to Miss Loyalty. Can I get you next, my lovely, please?
Yeah, no, thank you everyone for joining in tonight. Obviously, it was lovely hearing you all talking about your experiences. Sorry, obviously, we're all going through this, but together we can do it. We've got this. And my inbox is always open for anyone that wants to talk about anything.
Absolutely.
God bless you.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate that, Miss Loyalty. Darren, can I get to you next, please?
You certainly can, mate. Like I was saying earlier on, what we've not got to be is scared of these people that think they're in charge. They're not in charge. We've also got the power. We have the power to hold these people responsible. Like I was saying earlier, lawful legal reason. Rangi was saying, they've got to prove everything. Ask them for every piece of evidence they're supposedly got against you for the accusation they're making. But you've also got your ammunition to use against them with what we've got, what Rangi's got, what Gary's got, to hold these people accountable for their crimes of what they're doing to our children. It's now time. I'm going to say one word. I'm an atheist, Rangi's a Muslim, Neo-Christians, everybody else, every race, religion, creed. Unity. This is what we need. We as people can hold these people in charge accountable for their crimes, and it's now time to start doing it.
100%. Thank you very much, Darren. I really appreciate that. I'm hoping people take note of every single bit that's actually been mentioned from different people. Brother Neil, can I get you next, my friend?
Yeah, sure. I just want to say thanks to everyone for popping in and checking in on the live. I just want to say also that this is the first time in history that we've had the actual evidence that we've got now. We're in a very, very good place. You know, everyone pulls together, gets behind what the work that Gary's doing and Rangi's doing. We've got these people up against the wall. It's game over. And just everyone believe in it and get behind it. That's it, mate. Good night, everyone. Love ya.
Neil, thank you very much. I really appreciate that. For those who want to look, I'm just going to come back to this little bit here first. Would you like to know more? If you want to see evidence, don't hold yourself back. I'm making everything available. And even till now, every single person that gets one piece of document, they don't know how to move on to another one because there's just that much. You want to know about this, come forward. I'm always going to be appealing for help and support because there's that many people coming forward. The good thing is there are professionals, other organisations that are starting to reach out on a weekly basis, which I'm trying to plug into the system so they can start helping the victims because there is a lot going on. If people want to help and support on here, for example, you have two people here. I'm going to get to Pauline before I say something, but you can reach out to them. Okay, because at the end of the day, this is not about me. This is not about a specific person. We're part of a community and we're part of one race, and that's the human race. Anybody's got an issue with anything else or got a problem thinking that we should allow all this happen, just let us know who you are so we can make sure that when we see you, we'll kick your nuts off your goddamn body, you know what I mean? Because this has got to stop. This kind of sickness and this behaviour and this paedophile rings needs to stop. This is not a game no more. And we can't allow this two-tiered bullshit from these authorities, and it needs to be dealt with. And we're going to do whatever it takes. So all the judges, like Judge Matthews and all that, you're all easy going to be exposed, my lovelies. So it doesn't matter. Ooh, look at me. I'm going to have Pauline get her last saying in. Pauline, lovely, can I have you for the last, please?
Yeah. Hi, everyone. I just want to say a massive thank you to you, Rangi, because you do take a lot of time out. No matter what's going on in your own life, you do give 100%. I want to say a massive thank you to everyone behind the team. behind the backstage, all mods. But the one thing I do want to say to absolutely everyone in the live is we're all one, we're all together, and you are all warriors. We are not victims, we are survivors, and together we will beat them. Thanks, Rangi.
Thank you very much, Pauline. I really appreciate that. So, dear brothers and sisters, I'm going to cut it short tonight. I mean, tomorrow will be on, but we'll probably hit about 11 simply because there's a lot of appointments the next day. I don't talk about my issues or problems, but it's just the way it is. So, for every single person who has joined in the messages, I want to say a big thank you very much for joining us. Everybody who's tapping the screens, I want to say thank you very much. And everybody who's actually been coming into the boxes, commenting or asking questions, I want to say a big thank you very much. You do get some negatives here and there, that's just normal. But I'm specifically focused on the fight, on the problem, and I'm not going to turn the other cheek. I don't care who they are, what colour, creed, religion, background they are. I know somebody mentioned about working. I'm personally willing to work with anybody. I don't care who they are. I'm not bothered what background it is. There's a lot of evil amongst us. And to fight evil back, we need to get the righteous together. But we are winning. So, ladies and gentlemen, from me tonight, I want to say a big thank you very much. Love and respect to every single person. Good night. God bless. Stay tuned. Speak to you tomorrow. Good night.